I know.
It was basketball, right? You were at the KU game?
We were at the KU game.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I talked to Sarah like right before Christmas, and yeah, she said she didn't know if you guys were going to make it or not because the KU game. But see, we did see her as we were setting up.
Yeah, she was
So,
there.
She helped out.
Yeah,
I
so
think.
she helped.
Yeah.
She said, and then so I thought, oh, okay, so maybe we're going to see them this evening. Oh yeah, we didn't see them.
We probably should have went to the trivia.
Yeah. How KU's having a rough season? Would you say?
I would say they're struggling a little bit, right? I mean, holy cow!
Yeah.
I mean, I went last night too, and it was like they barely won.
Oh, really?
Man.
Who
Against
they
who?
play?
Yeah.
UCF, and they beat them on the road 2 weeks ago, right after they got beat by West Virginia at home.
Oh yeah.
They beat them by 50 on the road,
And then-
and they were down by 11, I think, at one point.
And you would think at home they
In
should be
Allen Fieldhouse.
stronger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to figure it out, I think, and I don't know. It's tough.
It's weird. It's weird because we've never really seen KU kind of go through,
right.
right?
What's the last time they lost? They've lost
Two in a row? Or two home games, correct?
in
Yeah,
one
yeah.
season.
Did they have a record for the most home wins?
I'm sure
they do
they're
that?
up there.
Yeah,
I feel like they did it.
probably. I think Bill Self has only lost like 10
Handful.
home games in
Yeah, in his-
Wow.
20 some years. Right?
Uh-huh.
Man.
Yeah. And what'd they say, when we were up by 6 and DeJuan Harris had 2 free throws with 28 seconds. The odds of West Virginia winning were like 0.4.
Really?
He missed 2 free throws. They got the ball, hit a 3, and then we couldn't get the ball in. Threw it away,
Oh.
and they stole it and hit a 3 and
Another
tied
one?
it, went it over and lost again.
Wow.
Sometimes those odd stats are just the perfect jinx, you know? Like they're going to pull out a stat out of nowhere that nobody's ever heard. Ooh, they've never lost on a Thursday at home in October, something
Yeah.
like that. And then it's the biggest jinx.
Yeah. So whoever's doing the game, right? It's like that in baseball and in football. They say something and bam, right away, the jinx just
This
happens.
kicker's never missed in
Right.
28 games, right? And then I don't want to jinx them, but and then they
Right.
lose.
Yeah, I remember I was watching one game and it was Nance and Romo doing the game, and Nance came up, Jim Nance, came up with the whatever he had said, and Romo was like, "You're the one that said it, Jim," and then he's like, "I don't want to be a part of this."
It's that stuff's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's only crazy when it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, 95% of the time it's not, but
I would say Romo's pretty good at it. Just his quarterback sense in his mind.
Yeah.
They're going to throw a short pass here,
Yeah.
get the out, and
Oh, yeah,
it just
he,
plays out right in front of you.
It's like first year, I think they called him the Wizard.
Yeah,
Like,
you're just
right.
yeah,
reading their minds.
they
It's
study
fun.
that. They study the film and they kind of know. And he's really good.
I think he was super smart too. Even before he got on the field in Dallas, like
Yeah.
he just knew what was going on, except how to hold a field goal.
Well, that's another story. That's another story.
Yeah. Right.
That's when they had the slick balls.
Yeah,
And oh boy, we could get into a half-hour story
ball
about
prep and all.
Yeah.
ball
We may.
prep.
Yeah. I may have something like that down in my notes
Well,
asking you
okay,
about.
we'll get to it.
Asking you about a football.
I mean, we could have Jan Stenerud here, and he would just be for 5 hours on that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's get on with the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome back.
Hello, everyone,
to,
and welcome back to the
to
Big
Big
Modcast.
I appreciate that, Mark. I'm your host, Big Mod. To my left, my co-host, Marcos, my son, running the board, as always, Chris. Got Jose sitting in the chair, the EP. Sandy's also joined us. And before we introduce our guest, Chris, can you go ahead and play our sponsor reads, please? Ones that are
This
making-
podcast is sponsored by Quinn Concrete Construction. The company motto, no job too big or too small. Whatever your concrete need is, they have the experience and the professionalism to ensure a quality job every time. For a free estimate, call 913-279-1448. That's 913-279-1448 and ask for Joe Quinn.
This episode is sponsored by Gold Fire Protection. With over 26 years of fire sprinkler experience, Goal Fire Protection has built our livelihoods on established relationships and providing quality fire sprinkler systems. From retrofits, remodels, service, repairs, new installation, and inspections, simple to the extreme, we can help you every step of the way. No job is too small or too big for our knowledgeable crews. For your free estimate, call 913-441-3390 or email us at gochoa@goalfireprotection.com.
You guys are doing it right.
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember. What were some of the questions that he said?
Okay. Hold on. Let me. We're back.
okay.
We're okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest for the evening, Mr. Kelly Goodburn. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
Yeah.
appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Yeah.
So going back to the trivia, there was times that I remember. What was his name? I'm sorry. The
Bartell.
Bartell.
Mr. Bartell.
He would read the question, and I think all of us would just stare at each other like, okay, who really knows the answer to this? Yeah. So since we've taken over, I can't say we've taken over, but
They've
we've
invited
taken
us,
over.
so we're.
So we host it now, and we do all the fun. And Mario, our oldest, he does a really good job of making the questions a little easier and funner,
Mixing it up, yeah.
Yeah. So
I have a problem with those nights.
what's that?
When you fill a room full of educators, they make regular people feel stupid.
Well, that's just it. They're not all educators. A lot of them are parents.
Yes.
I
of
went to
the
one
kids.
that you guys hosted.
When you-
No,
I felt stupid. There were 4 teams of just teachers that were
Right.
getting everything
That
right.
doesn't mean
I'm
they
like,
always win.
I don't know.
You've
I'm
been
just a
surprised
normal
this year.
person.
The team that won, we're like, who were they? They were
Yeah.
the most nonchalant team there.
I have them on video, and they didn't decorate their table. They just
They
came
were
in.
professionals.
That's what. Yeah, we had
The ringers.
We had somebody with helping us, and he come over and he asked me. He says, are you familiar with that table?" I'm like, "No." He says, "Well, we're keeping score, and they've only missed one out of so many. Out of 60, they've only missed one." I'm like, "Are you serious?" So we had to keep an eye on them. I didn't know if they were wearing an earpiece or what was going on over there. But yeah, they come up on top. They answered 79 out of 80 right.
That's too good. What was the one they missed?
I know, and we have.
I don't know.
I know we need to look.
That's a good question.
'cause
Yeah.
Somebody actually came up to me after and they said, "You know what? They only missed one. We need to find out what that one was
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
who they." And it's a traveling trophy, so they're going to have to come back next year.
Yeah, they'll be back, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I heard the Kelsey jersey went for the
It did.
raffle.
Yes.
That was pretty.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a big.
I was
big
hoping to
number,
win
big
that,
item.
but wasn't
Yeah,
that
but
lucky.
see, and that's what I was talking about to you earlier. So we had our name in the hat as well, and then Paula comes up and says, "Okay, Mario, go ahead, pick the name out." I'm like, "Did that just take me out?"
Yeah, that would have been bad if you'd have won.
Right?
You're gonna have to explain that
You're
one.
right.
Yeah.
You
So-
had no chance of winning that.
I was like, "Oh, I didn't want to pick," but I said, "Okay, I'll pick." And
Yeah.
I was like, I grabbed one and then I dropped it and then I grabbed another one and that was the lucky winner because I think that one I grabbed, the first one was mine.
That means the next year what you do is you take the paper that you put in and you fold it in a certain
certain way.
corner. So when you feel around for it, like, oh, there
See,
it is.
That's
Rolled
the
up
key.
a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's funny talking about that. Back in the day, and it could happen now, but like I heard that in the NBA draft they would do. Was it the NBA or that they
Lottery,
would
maybe?
the lottery? They would like keep some of the envelopes cold, and there was always something that you could feel, or it was just I just
So it's rigged,
that's what they used to say back in the day. But again, everything's rigged nowadays, right?
right?
Kelly?
Especially
Well-
the football game that everybody's saying.
It's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Mahomes, the Chiefs, and all that.
Yeah.
Right?
I know,
It's
right?
all rigged.
Yep.
I will never hear the end of that until they lose.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I don't know.
That's-
It's that's how it goes.
Yep.
I know, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so today was a warm day. You think spring's right around the corner?
Let's hope.
Right.
Let's hope. It was great.
Yep.
Jeez, just
Can you imagine the snowball fights that were going on today after school? It was a nice warm day. The
There's
snow
still
was
snow
There's
out,
still a lot
yeah.
of snow out. I'm like,
I
yeah.
think a lot of it's turned to ice though. It's
Yeah,
just-
I,
Well,
I
yeah.
think so too.
I mean,
Hey.
Slushy.
that pile of snow I had in the back of my truck was great for snowball.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Even somebody at work was like, "We should all come out for break and have a snowball fight." I was
You guys are all like,
"Oh, no."
you guys are all like 50.
Man. Yeah, I know. My shoulder's hurting.
Shoulder's not good. Huh?
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, but speaking of spring times, what was it like in Iowa during the springs?
So,
Go ahead.
grew up in Iowa?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Born
okay.
and raised in Iowa. The temperature's about the same. It's probably 8 to 10 degrees colder up there.
Okay.
And it's windy too.
Oh.
Yeah. So I grew up in a real small rural town of 200.
Wow.
Yeah. Not much going
So
on.
you knew everybody.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I mean, to say the least, and everybody knew everybody's business.
Yes. yes.
How far was the nearest big city?
Sioux City. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
probably 35 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So that's where we would go to have the
Good
movie
time.
theaters
Yeah.
and good times, you know. Yeah.
What were the neighborhoods like growing up back?
Well, there were 3 girls in my class. One was my twin sister. So,
So you're a twin.
It was an awkward prom, huh?
It was, yeah. We were consolidated with a nearby town. So, and that was 900. So, there were 25 people in my graduating class.
Wow.
So 110 or so in our high school.
Wow. Yeah.
So pretty small. And, growing up, we'd play tag and bike tag. And,
Yeah.
and we'd play basketball, football, but we would all have these backyard games.
Nice. Yeah.
And you'd play against people that were 7, 5, 6, 7, 8 years older. So you had to be pretty
that's
good.
true.
Then.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
had to
Yeah.
be pretty,
Which and that helped everybody get better at the sport, get better.
It did. It did.
playing against the older
Get
ones.
the
and-
elbows out in basketball,
Yeah, you couldn't screw up much. Otherwise, you would they wouldn't throw you the ball or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you play a lot of basketball? growing
yep.
up?
Growing up, of course, when there's not that many, you play all the sports.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Yep.
I lettered 3 years in football, 3 in basketball, 5 in baseball. We could play when we were in 8th grade.
Oh.
And I started at shortstop when
Did
I
you
was in
really?
8th grade.
No way.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh, that's interesting.
I had I was second in the state in the high jump my sophomore year.
Okay.
I didn't run because I hate running.
Sure.
And then my senior year, I was like, I gained a little weight, so I couldn't get over the bar. So
Oh.
I went to golf. I played golf.
Oh, okay.
Golf
So-
in school.
in high school. Yeah,
High school. Oh, so you guys had golf as a sport in high school.
Yeah, we did have
Nice.
gymnastics, wrestling, but
Okay.
everything else we had.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay.
Was football 7-on-7 then, or
No,
full
it
team?
was all full team.
Oh, man.
We were the smallest class. Yeah, and
so you got to play both sides of the ball then? Or?
yeah, I did. You almost had to.
Okay,
I was
yeah.
a safety because they didn't want to get me hurt. I was a quarterback, and
Oh,
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
yeah. So, and how I got into punting was, somewhat the same as everybody. It's like the coach says, "Okay, raise your hand if you know how to punt." or
Who thinks they
kick."
can kick it?
Open, so you go try out, and
Wait, I can guess a scenario here. Okay, it's 4th down. Coach says, let's just go for it. And if you have nothing, just punt it. Just get rid of it, right?
yeah. No, it was. We didn't punt much. I
No?
think. Well, my junior year, I was the punter. We won state that year.
Right.
and in
I was
the-
going to ask about that.
In
yeah.
the playoff game, I had an 86-yard punt.
oh man.
That's when
So
it all
not very
started.
high,
That's
just
what it
It
was.
was.
Right?
I mean, I didn't know how to kick. I mean,
Yeah.
I really didn't. And,
Uh-huh.
the next, okay, all of a sudden we went state, and I had this punt, so I'm now a punter. So Iowa State says, "Hey, we want you to come to our camp,"
Wow.
Yeah.
and that's when they evaluated you really. So I'm like, okay, and but you play basketball and then
So-
track and do all that.
You're just an all-star athlete, right? Yeah,
And
it's just-
I go to this football camp right before my senior year, and I didn't know what was going on really, and first practice we go out and punt, and I was kicking pretty good and all that. And they said, well, that's pretty impressive, and you're one of the top guys at our camp here.
Okay.
Oh.
And we want to know, have you been practicing a lot? And I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, what's the right answer there?
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, I have been, and I hadn't touched the football since the fall.
Since that
I
86
didn't
yard
even-
one.
Yeah, I mean, and so kind of then I knew I had a little special something that,
Yeah.
and I was all-state quarterback, but I mean, I didn't have the arm, and they kind of recruited me for quarterback and punter, and I get to Iowa State, and they have me at quarterback, and I'm doing all the drills and throwing passes, and I got a rag arm. I mean, I couldn't throw the and I'm like, listen, I want to go over there on the sideline and punt.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, those guys are relaxing over there. I see what they're doing. They're just hanging out.
Yeah, I think, so that's kind of why I went to Iowa State.
Is that pretty true that the kickers and the punters have way shorter, easier practices?
Well, you can only punt and kick so often
So many
Yeah.
times.
during the day.
They're just-
You can't
They
like,
are just chilling over there. They do a couple kicks and maybe a couple like game scenarios when the full team is together, but they are just
They warm up on their own
chilling.
schedule.
Yes, they're hanging out.
and it's never a problem until you miss one or hit a
Oh,
bad
that's
one,
true.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember Nick Lowry was telling me, he goes, he said, everybody says, yeah, Nick, how you doing? Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that kick you missed against Miami in
Yeah,
the
they were,
playoffs.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not the 180 that he made, but
Yeah.
it was
Right, yeah,
the
they
one
remember
he
that
missed.
one.
They remember that,
Yeah.
Easily measured during.
Yeah, it gets burned into memories.
So it sounds like you got that position with your natural abilities.
Yeah.
So how much further do you think you grew once you've got some official training and stuff like that?
Yeah, that was when I was in high school, we had on the sideline our biology teacher would come out and watch the practices. He was just a nut, and he would say, Kelly, he goes, it seems like when you hit a good one, you kick it off the side of your foot. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And so that's how I would do. I mean, I didn't know how to do it. I just, and so I get to Iowa State. I didn't play my freshman year. They redshirted me the second year.
Okay.
Couldn't redshirt freshmen back then.
Oh.
So before my third year, I guess, they sent me to a kicking camp, and I found out I was doing everything wrong.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Oh wow.
And I had a full ride scholarship. I mean,
Yeah.
And so I took those tips that they gave me, and I was much more consistent, and I just kept working and working. And
Now, along with that, in high school, if you're a multi-sport athlete, were you doing much training in the free time, or like weightlifting, running, things like that, or was it kind of college that maybe ramped that up?
Yeah, so zero. We had a universal gym. You guys are probably all too. I mean, and I never did any of that. My training, and I had a bicycle in our town. I would ride a wheelie up the hill. It was about, I don't know, half mile. I would ride a wheelie
While going
try
uphill?
to go up there, and I developed my.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
I didn't know
Ah.
I wasn't trying to do that, but I think that was
Ah, okay.
part of my
Sure,
strength that I had. But I didn't lift weights. I hated weights. I still do. But then again, when I get to college, then all of a sudden you run and get stronger, and you're in a real structured environment for that. And I got stronger, and I mean that ball just felt like a
Like kicking a Nerf football.
Oh, geez. I
Yeah.
mean,
Like
yeah.
nothing.
So that really helped me too. And even when I went to the Chiefs, that was a
Yeah.
big thing that I never had.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to the high school, your high school championship game, do you often think about that day? I mean, was it something like memorable, that something you'll never forget? And
Yeah, it was great. I mean, we had a snowstorm
Oh.
we drove out in a Greyhound bus the day of the game, and there was a snowstorm, and it was in what was it? I can't remember the town, but it was probably a 4 or 5 hour drive.
Wow.
And we stopped, and for lunch we went to McDonald's. I mean, nice nutrition, right?
Right, yes.
You know,
Food
I mean,
champions.
you know what? I always thought the apple pie was good.
yeah. I mean, you know, we got full. Yeah, we were, and it was in the Unidome, and it was a turf field, and of course we always played on grass.
Oh, no, yeah.
So we don't have shoes for that, right? We don't have turf shoes.
Oh, my goodness.
We have cleats, you know, little molded cleats, and so our running back borrowed the coach's shoes.
What is?
I mean, it's just you can't make that stuff up.
Right. We even, you remember the story with you? You had to borrow Coach Aaron, Coach
Sawyer?
Sorry?
Dubois. No, Dubois. We had to use his shoes out at Heritage.
Oh,
remember-
yeah,
you
because
remember
they
'cause-
were the rubber versus the spiked ones.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I'll never forget that. That was pretty special. And
You remember your numbers?
Oh yeah, 2, and I had that all my way through
Wow.
That was so yeah.
college
So your
and
professional college as well.
Yep.
Okay.
So my first year in college, they gave me 10 because somebody had 2, and then he left, and then I had it. So, but yeah,
And you went and grabbed it.
Now, do you still have any jerseys from college? Like, are you a sentimental guy like that?
jerseys. I don't have any jerseys. I got a helmet or 2.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So back then, I mean, they would let.
No.
Oh, okay.
They
I was going to say, I mean,
We'll
like,
edit, we can edit that part out.
Yeah.
high school, if they don't have the backup, you can't take that jersey yet.
Right.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah.
How about high school? Did you keep anything from your high school days?
You know, I don't know. I kept my letter jacket.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
If you still have it, yeah.
Had a bunch of medals, and I still have
Jingles
it's
every
like-
time you walk around.
Yeah.
Made it heavy.
Yeah, and it's probably got mold on it now from being in the.
None of your boys got to wear it, huh?
No, I don't even know if they've seen it.
Yeah.
When they watch this, they're gonna be like, "Dad has a Letterman jacket." Mom, where's the Letterman jacket?
It's on the basement somewhere.
Yeah. So you won at state in high school. What was your career like then at Iowa State?
Well,
Because you said you didn't start playing until your junior year.
it was my redshirt sophomore year. So
Technically third year.
Technically third year.
my
Okay.
Third
Okay.
year. I played one game my freshman year, and I had 1 punt or 2, and I averaged 45. But the guy that I was competing against was a junior, and so he played that year, and then I knew they were going to redshirt me his senior year, and then I played, and then so I finally got my opportunity, and I was doing okay, pretty good, and then I broke my leg against Missouri.
Oh, man. Was that
Wait, how?
Big 12 days?
Big 12 days,
Okay.
yeah. They had I don't know, it was at the end of the game, they had an all-out rush, and my leg went up, and all my weight was on my left leg, and the guy just rolled in and
Really?
broke my leg.
Chris, can you pull that video up?
Well, here's the thing on that. So, when the punters are punting, right, and then there's activity around,
Yeah.
right? They're rushing, and then they fall down, and they go, "Oh my God, he's acting," right?
Right.
And
Wait, it's not?
And the well,
okay.
the announcers say like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, he's needs an Academy Award."
Oh, that only works in professional wrestling.
But I'm telling you, it's normal to collapse your leg because you don't want your
Yeah.
weight on that.
Yeah.
You just, if there's stuff, you just kind of
Yeah.
like fall down because you don't want to have somebody
Yeah.
crash your leg.
So it took you a while to figure that out, and you had
Well,
to
it
pay
took
for
me
that
one
one, right?
broken leg
Yeah.
to figure that out.
Your legs over here all sideways and like, oh, what a performance by the punter right there. He's really having it up down
Then
there.
you're laying on the ground and you're, oh, he's acting still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now let me ask: are there any recordings of the games back then?
I don't think I have any recordings from Iowa State.
I don't know if Big 12 maybe put them on TV or anything like that at the
Yeah.
time.
I mean, there's got to be a VHS tapes. All the tapes that are sitting underneath that Letterman jacket.
We had a tape for the high school, and it was all
Oh, yeah.
fuzzy and
Right.
I mean, but yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah.
Playing college. I mean, did you have that feeling that you were going to go professional or?
Well, some of the Iowa State coaches at one point said, he's pretty good, and I was like the sophomore showcase in the Big 12, and so I thought, maybe I could.
Okay.
I mean, I had in one practice at Iowa State, okay, kid you not, we had a practice and we had these balloon balls, and you could kick them a mile. But I hit 3 consecutive punts from my foot to where it landed, 88, 88, and 90 or 89 yards in the air.
Man.
Nice.
So were you getting a lot of height? Were you
those-
getting
Yeah, I was gonna
distance?
say,
Was
yeah.
it both?
Yeah.
That's distance, but
All
don't you
that.
also have to
Yeah.
have the height? Yeah.
Yeah,
the
They
carry.
count.
But it was in practice,
Yeah.
but that's
Sure.
It's like 10 seconds.
Yeah. So,
that's
yeah.
pretty, that's
Yeah.
a 70-some yard
Wow.
punt.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, so I thought I could. I mean, I kind of, in the back of my mind, I thought I maybe
Now,
did.
in
sure
Iowa, are the Chiefs the default NFL team, or were you guys fans of somewhere nearby?
I was a Viking fan. We didn't.
Oh,
we
yeah?
only got the
Yeah.
Chiefs and the Raider games at 3:00 when I was growing up.
Oh.
But we had all the Viking games,
Mm-hmm.
so I was a Viking fan.
okay.
Okay.
I have never thought about that.
Yeah.
It's like whatever
Where-
is
where
showing,
it's
that's
at.
going to dictate what team you may follow then.
Well,
huh?
yeah, and back in, I'm aging myself now, but if you wanted to see your favorite team, you had to stay up on Monday night to see the halftime highlights.
Yes.
You didn't have all this ESPN stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't have
Access
all-
to
I mean,
every
you
single
didn't-
game.
you didn't know what.
And I remember that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I would ask my mom. I said, I want to stay up at least till halftime, and then you got to go to bed. But I wanted to see the highlights.
You
of
know,
this.
Kelly, one thing that I remembered I used to love watching was Inside the NFL with Lynn Dawson,
Lenny, yeah.
Nick Bonacani.
Yeah.
Who was I think Chris Collinsworth came
He
in
was
later. Nick Bonacani. Oh, but
Those two were the main ones.
yeah, and I know there was a third one, but that was the show to watch because that was, like you said, that was the only way you could see the highlights.
You could see, yeah,
didn't have
a
ESPN.
touchdown from some other team or your favorite
Yeah.
team. Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah,
was
it's funny you brought that up because I have not thought about that part of what
how
Inside
far
the NFL.
it's come, right?
Right.
I mean, now you got the
Now,
At a fingertip.
Fingertips,
You know,
yep.
Oh,
you know
I
what?
know.
Now it's too much information, right?
They got
Overload.
the advanced stats from
Yeah, it's-
Amazon's AWS. They're telling you everything about the game and everything possible.
What's that one deal? We got it. It's the red zone,
Yeah,
Yeah, NFL Red Zone.
and so we have that. And when the Chiefs aren't on, we'll flip it to that, and it's got like 6 boxes. And
Uh-huh,
we're
and it-
going to this game, and we're going.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
it-
it's like
it'll take you to yeah. When they're in the red zone, it takes you right to that game.
Yeah.
and,
Pulls it bigger.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Jeez,
yeah,
yeah,
that's.
yeah. It's
So you were undrafted. You were undrafted in '85,
yeah.
correct?
So
Yeah. How does that?
Were you a draft prospect or something?
well, so after I went to Emporia State after Iowa State.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah, but you played off. Okay, you played.
So I went 4 years at Iowa State, and I had 1 year of eligibility, and I was pretty much done there. I was, I needed to change and whatever. And the only place I could go was an NAI school.
Okay.
And my roommate at Iowa State was from Kansas City, and he transferred the year before to Emporia. So I'm like,
Okay.
and
Should I cover
and
my
it-
hat?
well, yeah, let's say, well, my son would have a problem with that.
Okay, yeah.
No, that's
we were
right.
playing
Yeah.
State
You went to
State,
North
Oh,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. So, it was and I was hurt and I didn't even really know if I could even kick again. I did something to my groin and all that, and so I went to I try out for Emporia State, and they said, yeah, you can you can come on and play here.
Did you kick somebody out of a spot then?
No,
No.
they didn't. They were Emporia was really on. They were down here, and they were kind of on the up.
Okay.
And so I go there, and the coach said, you know what? He said, if you travel 4 games, well, let me go back. So I get there in January of '84.
Oh, mid-year.
Okay.
And I have to pass like 17 hours because I wasn't the best student at Iowa State. So I had to be eligible. I had to really kind of hit the.
You had to
books.
open a book, right? Yeah.
But when I got there, we had these practices. I mean, and they were just like too tough. I mean, we were wrestling people in a racquetball court. I'm like, what is this?
Because I'm a punter. I'm a punter, damn it.
I'm a punt. Yeah,
I'm supposed to be over there.
and you're giving me $500 to do this?
Oh.
I mean, well, wait a minute. I need to concentrate on my studies and then maybe get a job and then make more than that. So anyway, come fall and I had a decent year at Emporia, and so I got one letter after that, and so my eligibility's over after Emporia, and I got one letter, and it was from Dallas, the Cowboys, and I think they sent a letter to every college football player.
Dang.
Don't downplay it.
Yeah. So there was nothing there for me. I mean, they just but I still think I can play.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, so how do I do that?
Yeah.
Well, that camp that I went to, he was kind of like the punting guru, and he had a bunch of college kids that would come over there and train, and then they would have a tryout where all the special teams coaches came.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
So I'm thinking, okay, I need to do that because so that summer he had a camp in William Jewell, and he goes,
Oh, wow.
come to William Jewell, kick for us, and I'll see if you're NFL material. So I did that, and he goes, yeah, you need to come out to Reno the next spring.
Was there any prep for that camp? Were you like, okay, my playing career depends on this. I'm going to be ready?
I don't think I really trained much, but so when I did go out there, I went back to college in the fall of '85, and then the spring of '86. Then that was when the tryout was in April. So I left school and went out there and moved out there.
Oh, man.
To Reno.
To Reno.
Okay.
Saved some money and went out there and kicked and trained and then on our tryout date, they had like 4 inches of snow. It was freezing, and no one did that well. I mean, to impress the scouts.
Yeah.
Except you.
And no, I didn't either. I mean, I didn't do that well. So, it's over, and I'm out of money. And I go to the guy. I said, I got to get signed. He goes, well, you come back out here next year, and we'll get you signed.
Okay.
I said, no, we got to get me signed now.
Oh, wow.
So, like 3 days later, I went out and kicked. They made a tape of me and sent it to 3 teams, Chiefs being one.
Okay.
And
Who were the other two?
I think it was the Eagles and maybe Buffalo, I think. And so I went home,
It's a lot of irony. It's a lot of irony right
a
there.
lot of irony, licking my chops, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going home. I have no money. I'm going to have to stay in, my hometown.
Yeah.
It's like, no way. I cannot do that. But then the Chiefs called, thankfully. They had me in for a tryout. And then it was a tryout. I had to compete against Bucky Scribner, who was the punter for KU, and he had played 4 or 5 years in the NFL. I had to compete against him to get the 5th punting spot on the.
And you're how old
to
at this
sign.
point?
Well, this was 86, so I was 24 or 24
Okay.
at that time. And so, yeah, this is, it's pretty. So we kick, and they said, okay, Kelly, we're going to sign you. So I get signed. And back then, you could sign as many guys as you wanted. Now they have.
Yeah, no, you just said the fifth guy. I'm like, 5 guys,
I know.
five deep
punters.
kicking. Yeah, I'm
Five
like,
punters.
jeez.
They had 5 punters.
Wow.
On our
Preseason.
you can
roster.
have. I mean, Dallas had 150 guys that they.
Yeah,
worked
I was gonna
out.
say. So that explains why Dallas, they send the letter to everybody.
Yeah.
Which I think that's why they're giving the name America's team, because they send out letters to everybody in America.
No.
Well, you know who Dallas's kicker is, right?
Right
now?
Now,
Yeah.
Or
Place kicker. The guy that's making like
Yeah,
60s, Aubrey.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was in Birmingham, and how Birmingham found him out, he was on a plane with like the Birmingham's chaplain. And he says, so what are you doing? He goes, well, I played soccer at Notre Dame, and,
Yep.
and blah, blah, blah. Well, next thing you know, he's kicking for Birmingham, and then he gets signed by Dallas, and he's like,
He's killing it.
he's killing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, Coach Fossil, I think, was the one that brought him in, found him in.
yeah.
Is he the?
He was the only
Australian
guy.
one?
No.
No,
Because wasn't there an Australian kicker as well that
There
had
is.
some sort of?
he plays
Similar
for.
story?
He plays for. Shit. He's new. It was a whole thing about like this
There's
whole.
a bunch of Aussie guys.
Yeah,
Right.
no, there's a specific one I know you're talking about because they call him like the punter down under or
Yeah,
the crocodile
something
punter. There's a lot of good. The
good
Bears. I'm pretty sure it's the Bears.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's the Bears who have them, but
Yeah,
I know what you're talking
Bears.
about. Nah, Bears.
Man,
The punter down under. What a
what a
great
small world to find somebody on a plane.
Yeah, and so I go in and I'm competing in the 86 training camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got the blinders on, because I'm going to win the job,
Yeah.
right? But I'm like, but what happened was I was getting pretty good. And they had I don't think they had really much intention of keeping me, but, and anyway, I got cut. In 86, didn't make it. And then so I went back and got my degree, and then I was going to give it one more shot. And went out to Reno again to do the tryout, and one team wanted me to sign me, and it was the Chiefs again. I'm like, what? You already cut me. Why do you want me? But
You're just toying with my feelings.
They just wanted to see where your attitude turned into.
How many of those people from the first year were at the second year's training camp? Was it about the same group?
well, no, just one.
Okay,
That was
then
the
that's
guy that
why.
made it.
Oh,
the guy
okay,
that
okay.
made it. Well, there was a couple more, but I don't remember who they were. They were new guys,
Yeah.
college guys. But Frank Gantz was our special teams coach, and he actually became the head coach. But he liked me for whatever reason, and so I'm like, well, I have no options. I'll go back to Kansas City, right? They go, you compete against Louis Colbert, who was our incumbent,
Yeah.
and we'll give you an opportunity and see what. Well, why not, right? So we did that. We signed with them. Went back to training camp in '87. Came down, Tom, to the preseason games, and they gave me like 2 or 3 kicks, and one was like on the 33 going in. So, and anyway, got cut again.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
man.
So I'm done, right? I mean, I got to get on with my life,
Right,
because,
yeah. Yeah.
And so,
Either that or get back on that bike and do some more
or
wheelies.
get back on that bike and ride that hill
do
harder.
some, in the snow. Yeah.
Can I ask, at any point in here, have you met your wife yet?
No, not
Okay.
yet.
All right.
So, so I get cut again. I go to Emporia, and I got some more college to do, a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a few more hours.
Just a couple, because I was a triple major.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you there at the same?
60-year senior.
Were you there at the same time as Leon Lett? Was he there yet?
He was a little after me.
Okay.
He was a little after.
Yeah, I was
me.
going to ask. I saw Leon Lett's picture up there. We need to go back and see if your picture's up there in that locker room.
Yeah, I don't know. His jersey, I think.
His
Yeah.
jerseys, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, I got a story about that too.
Okay.
I don't wanna-
Yeah, I want to hear it. I
step
want to
on
hear it.
too many toes.
Let's hear it.
But so I went and did started my student teaching at Park Hill. I was done, and in '87,
But now you're living in Kansas City.
I'm living in
Okay.
Kansas City.
I didn't know you were a teacher.
I was going to be a teacher. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so we get like a week or two in, and I get a call from the Chiefs again.
What?
At this point, I would tell him to fuck
So
off.
do you like?
Wait, remember,
point,
Oh, yeah.
he was out of money. He needs
Do
something.
you tell the school, like, do you quit the school right then, or do you like have to? Hey, let me test this out for a couple weeks.
Well, so the Chiefs called me and said, "Hey, there's a potential strike.
Oh yes, I remember that.
'87 was a strike,
I remember that. Yeah.
and we're collecting. We're signing players, and you're one of them. We want you to be our punter, and by the way, we'll give you some signing bonus. And if you if there isn't a strike, you get to keep the money."
Oh, shit.
I mean, I'm done at that point, right? I was like, "Hey, sign me up."
Yeah.
Right?
I'll take some
okay,
money.
I'll do that. And so all of a sudden then the strike comes, and I'm playing, and I'm one of the bright spots of a not so good strike team.
Yeah.
And so after the strike was over, that I played 3 games, right? We played 3 strike games.
Okay.
And so they kept, after that, the strike was over, and then they could keep a few players. And I was one of them that they kept.
Hey,
Nice.
There you go.
Congrats
So
on that.
then we're playing San Diego that week, and it's like the media's like, "Well, so who's going to be your punter, right?" And I'm, well, we're going with our veteran that was here. I'm like, "Well, here we go again."
Right.
Right. So I'm like, okay, it's just impossible to. It's
Yeah.
impossible
To lock
to
it down,
make it in. So Thursday before, he comes over to me and he says, "Get ready to play." He goes, "My hamstring. I hurt my hamstring." And so then the coach came in and said, "You're punting Sunday." And that was it. That's how I got my chance.
Oh, wow.
And so
Nervous? What were the nerves like? Or
Yeah.
Yeah. There were some
Did it
nerves.
feel different non-strike team from strike team?
Well,
Everyone got a lot faster.
there was some real strife there. I mean, if you remember,
Yeah.
Bill Moss and Dino Hacka were in the truck with the shotguns, and it was on ESPN.
That's crazy.
You
Yeah.
guys don't remember.
I don't
that.
know.
Yeah.
I'm learning about this
Yeah,
in
I
real
remember-
time, Kelly.
It was, but I had been in training camp with them the year before, so all the guys knew me, and anyway, it was okay. It was all right.
So you were considered a scab,
Yeah.
right? Because remember that's what they were calling them, were the scabs.
Yeah, I like to call it replacement players.
Right. Right. Because I always thought like
Let's get that straight.
I love the replacement, that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
I
Oh,
love
yeah, the
that
Replacement.
movie. Love that movie.
was that Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
Right? There was
yeah,
the
the quarterback.
Yeah.
There was a
That's
lot.
right, yeah.
That was a lot of stuff. I mean, geez, there was it was crazy.
Yeah, I remember that.
So did you get to hold on to that position, or did he have to come back? Or
So I did. I played all year, and I was a little shaky at times. I'd have some good games, and I'd have some not so good games. And
Yeah.
then some good games, but I played the whole year.
Oh.
And then they, of course, brought competition in the next year, and made the team and played the next year. And then we got Marty Schottenheimer came in.
Oh.
Shoddy.
And then so they signed their punter from Cleveland, Max Runiger, and they gave him a huge bonus. And I was like on the outs,
Yeah.
right?
That's when you had your arms crossed and you're like,
Yeah, Yeah, I was
pissed
like,
off.
well, you know what? When you get backed up in a corner,
Yeah.
you know, you either back down or you find a way to and so anyway, I punted really well, and I had a great year in '89, and so my third year, and then finally after the season, you know, Marty's like, Kelly, you've done a good job. We're not going to replace you.
Oh,
Hey.
We're you know, when you go out to Reno and, you know, kick and do all that, find some punter that can save your leg during training camp.
oh,
What was Coach Marty Schottenheimer like?
Marty was very structured, very,
Yeah. Please tell me his son will follow his footsteps.
someone's very concerned about that.
You're a Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the star's kind of covered up over here, but there's
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
there's
if
a
you
lot
can
of
see my
Cowboys all over.
see my little star behind my logo back there.
Oh wow.
He's starting to see the
Please-
signs
Well,
now.
when we get to the Redskin part, then we're going to fight.
All right, yeah.
Well, we had to deal with that in the Commanders and Eagles game.
Yeah.
The better of two evils, you know. But
Yeah.
we'll get
I
to that
didn't know-
later. We'll
yeah.
get to the playoffs later.
That was
I
just
was
all
like,
evil.
who am I going to root for? I'm going to watch the game. Oh wait, Kelly's coming in. Okay, let's go. Let's go, Commanders.
If you get both of them, yeah.
Yeah, but that would have been awesome.
It would've.
if well, you know, we'll talk about that when
We got playoffs.
let's go. Let's go
Can
back
I ask
into
another
your,
quick question? So, you would only get signed. It would renew one year at a time. Like people get contracts for like 5 years, 7 years.
Right.
What right?
So, back in the day, you know, if you signed a 5-year contract, right, you would think, you know, you're going to get paid for 5 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Regardless of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong.
really.
You get paid. So, let's say that back then there was 16 games. Let's say you made $160,000 your salary. You got paid $10,000, 16 weeks divided by your salary, and that's what you got every week.
Right.
So if you were on the roster, you got paid. If they cut you,
Stops right there.
you're
Really?
That's it.
Oh.
now they have some guaranteed
Yeah.
money, and then there's all this stuff. But when I played, I just signed a 3-year deal right before the '90 season, and got cut after 3 games. So
Oh,
I
wow.
got 3 game checks in '90.
Oh.
So it was cut, not traded.
No, cut on the street, and that's where my wife comes in.
Okay.
So I get cut after 3 games in '90, and
And this was under Schottenheimer.
this was under
Okay.
Schottenheimer. The guy that I handpicked to be a camp kicker or
No
punter,
way.
guess who that was? Brian Barker.
Oh,
He played 18 years in the league.
Oh,
yes.
man.
So I'm not that smart
you
of
picked a
picking.
good guy.
I was like, and I tell Brian, I said, you owe me some money.
Right.
That's the oldest trick in the book. Every company does that. They bring, here's a new hire to help you out. Secretly, he's getting
Train the new
trained
guy.
to.
yeah, exactly,
replace you.
exactly.
Yeah, that's a bad memory.
So are you still in contact with quite a bit of people from your career?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. I'm in a group in Kansas City called the Chiefs
Ambassadors.
Ambassadors.
Okay.
It's former Chief players, and it's great. The hunts are great. They, we do a lot of charity work, and if they got
The golf
needs-
tournament.
golf tournament,
Is there-
raise money. Yeah, it's all great, and it's so fun, and the camaraderie that we have in our meetings. It's just like the old locker room.
That's
you know?
awesome. Yeah, I have a list here of everybody that's on that list. I mean, you know, in that the
Yeah.
ambassadors. It's a great list.
Any fun
I mean,
names
it's,
that we would know?
Oh, yeah.
you
Derek
guys.
Thomas.
Derek
Hey,
Thomas.
there we
Duran
go.
Cherry.
Yeah, the honorary mention. Yeah, Bug Buchanan and Otis Taylor, the honorary mentions. But yeah, Christian Okoye.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of these guys. You know, I'll tell you this, Kelly. I grew up a Cowboys fan, but I mean, the Chiefs were like I had to watch them because I mean, the Cowboys you could catch games here and there, but yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys like Carlos Carson, Duran Cherry. Anthony Davis. I used to love watching AD play.
AD.
He was a
Yeah.
monster, right? Tamba Ali, of course, you know.
Oh yeah.
He was
We know
another,
how-
yeah, you know Tamba Ali. Dante Hall, the X Factor.
Yep.
You know, people are probably surprised that I know a bunch of these, Chiefs names. Dana Hughes, of course, we hear him on the radio.
Right. Dan. Yep.
Yeah, Eric Hicks was another beast. You know, it's just, I mean, the list goes on and on. J.C. Pearson, Stephon Page. Yeah. It's a great, I mean,
Hold on, wait.
Louis Aguiar, of course.
Well,
Tell me about Louis Aguiar.
You need to get him on this show.
Kelly, if you can help us get Louis on.
I'll do that.
All right, thank you.
He's a hoot.
Is he?
Yeah.
And all those guys I mentioned, yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Wait, Dan, hold
Okay.
on. Tamba Ali,
Yeah.
where did he go to college?
I'm not sure.
Penn State.
Went to Penn State.
You want to know Tamba's story?
Yes, please.
Because he was the newest inductee into the Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
Just
we saw him
recently.
hitting the drum.
Yeah.
It was a season. Yeah, he did that.
Yeah. So he was telling his story. They told his story, you know, and he came over here like when he was 10 or something.
Oh man.
And their country was like in shambles, and he went to high school and he couldn't really speak English or do anything. I mean, and then he went to college, and I mean,
growth.
What a story that
Right.
is. And he is such a great guy.
Really?
he is so special. Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, and what about Christian Okoye?
Christian
Right?
was in my era.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Christian.
What was it like watching him? I
Well,
mean,
he was one of the first running backs that was 250 pounds.
Yeah.
right?
And he was a rock. I mean, and he was just fast. I mean, he ran track.
For his size, right?
Oh,
yeah.
track too?
Track. He ran track. He went to Azusa Pacific, an NAI school in California.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, he was a beast. He
So
was,
that when he was playing, that was the time when the Chiefs had the running back by committee.
yes,
right?
Yeah, Barry Ward was
Another beast.
Beast.
And then Harvey Williams.
Harvey Williams.
So it was, I think it
after
was
them.
those three that were just, I mean,
Yep.
and
Do you remember Paul Palmer?
yes, Paul, yeah, you know what? Yeah, because he went to Dallas too. He ended up playing for the
Yep.
Cowboys for a little bit.
Yep.
Paul, yeah,
Yeah.
Great name.
Paul Palmer. Yeah.
Paul Palmer. Temple.
Oh, he went to Temple.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Now I'm also being reminded though he's got the Dallas Texans history of the Chiefs as well. He was a big fan of that when the helmets they had the helmets with the state of Texas come out too.
we have one ambassador that's a Texan.
Oh, really?
Man.
That was an original Texan. Jerry Cornelison.
Okay, yeah.
He was.
I didn't realize he was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Just, I tell you what, it's so great to hear those stories of
Yeah.
Bobby Bell, and I could sit there forever and listen to him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Kelly, your next meeting, call us. We'll
call-
set it up. We'll set it up. We'll have all the guys on the show.
I think it's cool. Like you said, it's like the old locker room. Just you guys all getting together and just reminiscing and just.
it is. It really.
yeah.
It's that's.
it
and
all
that's-
needs to be documented. Let's do it.
Well, you're right. It does. I mean,
Yeah.
Do a lot live here in Kansas City
a
still?
lot of guys live here. I think Royals too. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a lot of. It's such a great city, and
Yeah.
for whatever reason, yeah, there's a lot of.
You always hear that everybody sees George Brett somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
just pops
That's
up
true.
everywhere at different events.
Yeah, George Brett. I was starstruck with him, of course, watching him grow up. Sandy's favorite baseball player as well. We saw him at Heritage Park. He was just standing on the other. I was running the chains for I think my oldest son was playing, and I was just running the chains, and I can hear George Brett talking behind me, so I kept. That was a distraction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You know.
You're misspotting the ball.
Now, do you
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
do you guys have much co-interaction with Royals?
Yeah,
Like,
so
things like
so
that?
here's the story.
They're neighbors.
My oldest son, Kyle,
Yeah.
he played on their baseball team.
Oh, really?
In middle school
Oh,
with
man.
Jackson.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Jackson and so they asked me to be a coach, assistant coach. So
Yeah, nice.
I'm with George and our
Oh,
kids are playing, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna watch George and see how he deals with his son, right?
Yeah.
Because he's like up here,
Yeah.
he's
Right.
and he was so great. He just, because he was one of three boys, I guess, and
Oh.
he's awesome.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, because Ken, his brother Ken, was also played with the Royals for a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know about the other one.
Yeah. They're
Really?
Yeah.
Baseball family. Yeah.
So, but I see George a lot in some golf tournaments, and
Oh, yeah.
we always talk, and he says, "How's Kyle doing?" And
Really?
Oh, that's
all
cool.
that. So yeah, it's
That's cool.
yeah, and I just saw his Jackson, his oldest, at the Peanut the other day. He
Oh,
just
really?
got
Oh,
married,
so they're still here in
they're
town.
still here.
Okay.
They're all
Yeah, yeah.
still here, and yeah,
That's great.
Jackson. You know how Jackson got his name?
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
Bo
Yeah.
Jackson.
He was
And-
really good friends with George Brett and Bo Jackson and
The youngest one is named Robin
From
Batman. He's a Batman and Robin fan.
Robin Yount,
Oh, Robin Yount. Yeah, for the Brewers.
and Dylan's the middle one. I'm not quite sure how Dylan got his name, but
Maybe he was a Matt Dillon fan.
Or maybe mom got to choose that name.
Mom maybe got to choose that one.
Yeah. I was going to say, you were also starstruck with,
With Kelly Goodburn and
And Louis Aguiar.
no, we met him at the volleyball tournaments.
Trent. Yeah,
Trent Green. So he's a
Trent Green.
local as well.
Yeah.
I mean, his kids grew up here. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Trent. Yep. He's a genuine guy. I mean, he's awesome.
He's a,
Yeah.
Kelly. He's,
I feel like
he's
growing up, he was the quarterback that I remember.
yeah.
seeing
That
things.
was that was my dad's favorite quarterback. He had the jersey.
Dick
and,
Vermeil years.
Oh, yeah.
They were good. I mean, the Chiefs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trent's
Dante
another one
Hall.
I'm trying to get on to do the show as
Yeah.
well.
Because that was Tony G years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Probably.
Gonzalez.
Yep.
Just trying
Tony
to think back.
Gonzalez. Yeah. Jeez, that's
Okay.
years ago.
So you were a Chief, and then you got cut. How do you make it to the Redskins?
So,
Wait, before we get there, you met your wife.
yeah.
You
We
meet
didn't
your
get-
wife.
we didn't- we didn't
glazed
get to
over
that
real
part.
quick.
He's on the streets. That's what we left
The
on.
streets of Kansas City.
The streets of Kansas City.
So I'm playing with the Chiefs in '87, and we go to an establishment in Westport. I think it was
America's Pub.
no, it was what was the comedy place called?
Stanford's.
Stanford. We went
Yes.
to
Stanford's Comedy
Yes,
House.
yes.
and I met her there,
Okay.
and
Because
so,
you had a 5-minute act. You were
I had a 10-second act.
you went into comedian. You went from football to a comedian. And okay.
That's what they do now.
That's where we met.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where we met.
That's
and then,
awesome. Stanford.
So that's how we met, and so we were dating for those years, and then we were still dating in '90. And when I got cut, she worked for the radio station KMBZ, I think.
Oh.
Okay.
Over in Westwood. It's not
Yeah.
even there anymore. But so, I mean, I don't have anything to do all day. But, so I wait for her to get off work, and then she's snapping me, throwing me snaps so I can keep training.
Nice.
Some are not very good, but for the most part, you need that. You just can't.
Yeah.
Repetition.
So she helped me out a lot. And
So she was a keeper then because she could help you
yes.
with your training.
now, was she a Chiefs fan?
She was a Chiefs Royals fan.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go.
more Royals, I think. And so when so I did that for 10 weeks, 2.5 months, trained and did all that, trying to get back in.
Yeah.
And then the Redskins called me and had me try out and made the team. And then the next year, we moved out there. We got engaged.
Oh, okay.
Actually, okay. Yeah. Maybe we got married. it was, but she went out, we went out there, and then that next year we had that dream season with the Redskins, and then we win the Super Bowl, but it was nice because we went out there and we were just ourselves.
Yeah.
Just us and no family, so we really had a good time.
Oh, that's
Okay.
good. Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about Washington's football team. They guys went to the Super Bowl that season. You played all 16 games.
Yep.
Yeah, if I read correctly. Yeah, you had a good season. Obviously, I mean,
Yeah.
you helped them get. I mean, what was the record? Was it
We were
14-2?
14-2.
14-2? Okay.
It was one of those years where we had everything locked up. We played the Eagles last game, and none of our starters played.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
We
so
got beat.
Kind of like the Chiefs this
Yeah,
year.
I was about to say.
We started.
Oh, yeah.
We started 10-0 that year, and we played the Cowboys at home, and they beat us.
Oh. Do you remember that?
You celebrate, okay?
sorry, Kelly. Really?
Yeah, they beat us, and they actually made the playoffs
That year.
that year, and we were like, okay, we don't want to play these guys in the playoffs. And they had to go up to Detroit, Barry Sanders years. And
I remember that.
They got beat by Detroit, and then we played Detroit in the NFC championship game and beat them. So,
Okay.
but
Yeah, we won't talk about NFC Championship games today. So. But I kid. Go
Can I
ahead.
pull out my fun thing for some
Please.
stories?
Yeah, let's
All
do
right,
it.
Kelly, we need some stories from you.
okay,
I'm going to hand you a stack of cards here, and we
Okay.
need
Watch
at
your
least
headphones.
one story from each person in here. All
okay,
right?
all right.
That I take it that your guys' team was. I mean, it was a phenomenal team. The guys on that squad were. I mean,
Don't jump ahead yet.
all right, let's
Some
go.
fun
All right,
people in
Kelly.
there. All right, so who's on the first card?
So our first person is Mark Rippon. He was our quarterback.
Yeah.
And he's and everybody says, well, you play the Redskins, you won a Super Bowl. Who was your quarterback? Doug Williams. I mean, it's 90%.
It's always that
it's
far back.
always Doug Williams. Oh,
Yeah.
Mark Rippon. He had a great year, and he was I think MVP and a great guy. Yeah, he was special.
Yeah, and I believe he has a son playing in the league right now.
It's his brother's
Oh,
son.
okay, it's his brother,
So it's
so,
his
he's
nephew,
a ripping.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brett Rippon.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You could throw that top card over on the side for
Yeah,
now.
you can.
and
okay.
We'll just keep
oh,
moving.
Jeez. Art Monk.
Yeah.
Monk.
I've heard his name a lot. I haven't seen a ton from him, but I hear he was great. You have any fun
Art at
stories?
one time, I believe, had the most receptions in NFL history at one
man.
time. And he was so good. So his routes were so great, and he was a quiet giant. He never said anything.
He had some 1,000-yard seasons, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
he was good.
if Art ever said anything,
I
mean,
Everybody
stop talking.
everybody stopped talking.
He's talking.
Okay.
Yeah, Art was great.
Okay, so hang on. These people that you're going through, they're all Redskins?
They're all from the Super Bowl team.
Oh, from the
Yes,
Super Bowl
All
team.
from
Okay,
the
thank
Super
you.
Bowl team, yeah.
Okay.
So the next one is Charles Mann. He was our defensive end, and Charles, he was just, I mean, his smile, he was just very outspoken, great guy,
Yeah,
and what a wonderful player. I mean, he was truly special.
he was a monster.
He was a beast, and
He was the man.
Yeah,
he was, yeah.
I remember. Yeah,
Probably made contact with Troy Aikman quite a bit.
it was
Oh, not even Aikman at that point?
nine. No, yeah, it was.
yeah,
It
Because
was.
he would have been
92,
drafted by
93.
then.
Yeah, it was 89 when Troy was
Yeah, he was
throwing Troy around.
He was a beast. Oh, and then Darryl Green. Oh, geez.
The fastest man in the NFL at one point.
Fastest man in the NFL. He was a DB, and he when I first got there, one of the first practices, I'm out there, and we're the punters, kickers, we're out there early, right?
Sure.
And I look out, and there's this guy running, and he's like running forever. Before practice.
Yeah, before
Did he
all
get in
practice.
trouble or something? I mean, he could run for days.
Yeah.
And he was what a wonderful guy. And he played 20-some years.
Right.
Hall of Famer. Yeah. What a great guy.
Yeah, he
Darryl.
he was one of those D-backs that if somebody broke away, he'll catch you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
There's one. I think there's a play where
Yes.
somebody's running, and he just comes out of nowhere, right?
He was
and just,
10 yards behind him. And
Yeah.
he tracked him down. It's like, how did he do that?
That's
Would you say he's just again? I'm quite a bit younger.
Yeah.
Would he be reminiscent of like a Tyreek Hill these days?
as far as
'Cause-
speed.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
outspeeding everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He had I mean, he would always play, I think, probably man to man. If he ever got beat a little, if somebody juked him a little
Yeah.
bit, he had so much pickup.
Close that gap.
He would close the gap so fast.
Yeah.
And they just never threw his way.
Right.
And
Respect.
then he played forever.
Yeah.
I mean,
to stay at that level for so long.
To have that speed and to play
Wow,
a
yeah.
defensive back for that long is
Right.
just, yeah,
Yeah, he was
special guy. And Coach Gibbs, yeah, I think I caught him on his best time.
Yeah,
He was kind of on the outs. He was about ready to retire, but and I'll tell you a Super Bowl story about
Please.
him. So I get there in '90. I played 4 games and we won a couple, or we won one and lost one playoff game. But then the next year we play and then we go to the Super Bowl. So we're in the Super Bowl and in that week in Minneapolis, and we had one of our backup quarterbacks. We all had a party at the place kicker. He was from Minneapolis, right?
Okay.
So we're having a good time and doing
because
all
that's
this
where
stuff.
the Super Bowl was that year.
That was where the Super Bowl
Yeah.
was. It was our off day, and we're having fun, and there's some snowmobiles there.
Oh no.
Well, he jumps on a snowmobile. I've driven a snowmobile. Well, he goes over this hump, and he hurts his knee.
You said backup quarterback, right?
He was the third string quarterback. And so he was like, I think he was like, was going to make up a story like he fell on the ice. He couldn't be driving a snowmobile, right? So we go in the next day and it was like, oh God. And Coach Gibbs is never, mad.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, kind of like, "Urgh."
Really?
And
It's the Super Bowl.
And I'm, it's like, come on, guy. I mean, I'm thinking it's like, come on, guys, you're here for a reason. What are
Yeah.
you doing? And blah, blah, blah. And so I was in kind of the front row, and he says, we're here for a reason. We need to take care of business and blah, blah, blah. He never pointed him out or whatever. And then he said, Kelly, he goes, I want to talk to you after this meeting.
Uh-oh.
And I mean, I've never talked to him in a year.
I didn't do anything. Oh man.
And that tear was starting to come out.
It's like
and
getting called to
you-
the principal's
Right?
office.
Oh man. They can't cut you in the Super Bowl, right?
Well, I'm thinking, I'm like, God, is he going to cut me? He can't.
man.
He can't cut me, right? So I'm just like, So I kind of
Yeah.
walking a
His
little
scuttle
bit,
just
and said, "You want to see me, Coach?" He goes, I've never taken the time to get to know you. So after the Super Bowl, I want you to come into my office, and we're just going to visit.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, well,
Yeah.
I'm still going to play, but
Yeah.
so, and then when the Super Bowl's over and we're winning, back then they didn't have the stages out on the field.
Oh, yeah.
We had them inside in the locker room.
Yeah.
okay.
And there was just like, you couldn't even move. And we're walking and I see him and he just stops and he says, Kelly, now don't forget, I want you to come to my,
That's awesome.
And I thought the world of that because he was just so down to earth and with all the hype and everything.
that's
And
Yeah.
yeah, great man.
Yeah.
Great man.
I just saw him, and I was going to ask you if, is he still around or what? So he's in a commercial. I just saw him in a commercial.
With his grandson, I think.
Well, the commercial I saw is with the race car driver.
Right.
Is that his grandson?
That's his grandson.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, but he's showing off 4 rings or however many he's got on, and yeah. So,
Yeah, he he retired from he was always a NASCAR junkie, I guess. And he left when he retired from the Redskins. He started his own NASCAR, and one of his sons was in there and involved, and he did that for years. And then, what was it, 10 years ago, he got re-signed by the Redskins or the Commanders or whatever.
Yeah.
He was a coach for 5 more years with
Yeah.
them.
Jeez.
And yeah,
sharp, still on
so
top of
he's still around, and we had our 25th, I guess,
The anniversary.
anniversary. We had it was maybe one of those deals. It was during COVID, so we had a Zoom call, and
Oh, it was one of those. Oh,
yeah, and he was there, and he was just so
That's
thankful
cool.
and appreciative. Yeah, it was. He's great.
yeah.
I
that's
think
good.
and he retired then the next year. So I played the next year with the Redskins, and then he retired, and then I got cut the next year. But I think if he would have still been there, I'd have been there for a few more
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Right.
So they were like, "All right, Joe, sorry, it's that time. Go ahead and take Kelly with you." Yeah, pretty much.
I'll drive a car.
Yeah, but you skipped a player
You
there.
skipped the last two.
Oh, well, okay. So this is this one here. It's my rookie card with the Chiefs.
Do they tell you when they're taking these pictures, or do they just pick something random?
And you don't even know if you're going to be
on a card?
But I tell you what, if you got a trading card, that's pretty.
It's awesome.
You
Yeah.
made it in the big time.
Yeah.
If you got a card.
I mean, I know you have to have a 32 by 18 poster of that.
Blow up.
It's
I-
a blow up in
blew
your
it up.
house somewhere.
I think it's got your city that you live in still in Iowa on that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
are these facts correct on there?
Yeah, this was 86 and 87. Yeah, this is my rookie card.
Mm-hmm.
And this was
And that was
I think that's 92, so right after
right
you
after
win.
the Super Bowl. There's one more card that I had. It was like a pro set card with the Redskins.
is that a pose? Did you pose for that, or was that like were you warming up?
No, that's just warming up.
Yeah.
Yep, I didn't
Okay,
know.
I have to ask you, if you kick the ball at the laces, would that mess everything up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that wouldn't be good. That would, yeah. But
Do you have some of the cards at home somewhere in a box?
well, they gave us a whole box.
Oh, yeah.
They gave you the sheet. It wasn't cut.
They gave us a whole box of. I had like I had 300 of them at one time.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But I still, to this day, I'll get 1 or 2 letters every week that somebody will want
An autograph?
They'll send me these cards and want me to autograph.
Nice.
Do you have like a P.O. box, or are they just sending it to your finding your
they
house address?
find my
Please.
address.
That camera is yours right there. You want to go ahead and put that out there? We can, anybody
They
want to see
already know
that?
that. They already know that.
Well, I have a question going back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So did your wife Sarah,
Sarah.
did she feel like what Taylor Swift is right now? Did she feel
Before
like
there
a
was Taylor Swift, there
I
was
know.
Sarah Goodburn.
I don't know that she had any vocal, had
Yeah.
any recordings then, but
But being the wife or being
Yeah.
the partner of somebody that did a Super Bowl and just the excitement
Yeah.
and all.
no, all the wives. She had a lot of good friends there with other Redskin wives.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was.
How cool to be a part of that ride.
She got to come out on the plane with us before and afterwards, and they had the big party.
Yeah.
Was there a parade? Did they
There
throw
was
a
a
parade,
parade.
in DC? Yeah.
It was actually we were on the lawn right behind the. The
Lincoln Memorial?
Yeah, it was on the other side. What's that? The Capitol over there, the bill or. Anyway, that's where our deal was.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
The big lawn, and
Yeah.
By the
they had us on. So we got to go to the White House
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
lawn.
that's right.
afterwards.
That's right.
That
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
Who's president? 91.
Ronald Reagan. No, George Bush, Senior.
Oh,
Senior. Okay.
And,
Got to meet him, and
Sarah's best story on that was when we got there. Of course, we're the hometown
Yeah.
Heroes,
right?
yeah.
And so we're on the lawn, and they have barbecue and stuff, and it's real casual. And we're there, and they have servers and waiters, and the waiters are like, "There's Charles Mann."
Right.
And I remember George going over, said, "John, you're working here. You're not getting autographs."
Okay.
But I guess Barbara, one of the grandkids, came down and she wanted to change out her shoes because they were getting uncomfortable. So she told one of the grandkids to go get her shoes or something, and they brought them back, and they were two different ones. But she didn't like point out like they were wrong. She just put them on.
Oh,
Nice.
that's neat.
So I got to play horseshoes against George Bush, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, that was pretty cool.
All right, I have to know the answer to this. You saw that barbecue and you said, "This is not barbecue."
I didn't say that.
Okay.
But you know who was on our coaching staff at the Redskins was Emmett Thomas,
Okay.
who's a Chiefs Hall of Famer, NFL Hall of Famer from Kansas City. And when I would go back in the off season and then come back, I always had to give him some Gates ribs.
Oh, really?
Yep. And
Special
then
request.
we actually, when I was with the Redskins, in '92 we played the Chiefs at Arrowhead.
Man.
Oh.
And so I had Gates catering, and we had it on the bus back to the airport.
Okay, so what was it like being back in Kansas City but playing for the opposing team? And like, you guys cut me.
Did you get a warm welcome from the fans? I mean, was there fans out there that?
Do they?
Yeah.
I don't think they do those announcements like they do now. Like a lot of times, if you've been with the team for a while and they come back, they'll do some kind of ceremonial welcome back, whoever.
Yeah. I don't think they did that. I don't think. I remember that. The only thing I remember was we're defending Super Bowl champs, and we come in here. And the Chiefs just killed us.
Oh.
I mean, and the fans were it was so loud. And
You probably got a lot of
being
puns.
on the other side of that,
Yeah.
that was the first time. I mean, I could hear it
Yeah.
on the other side, but
Yeah.
I was like, and just to this day, it's like it's not fair for the other teams. It's just so loud,
Right.
and it's crazy. The
Yeah.
fans
I-
here.
I saw a video today actually of the coach of the Bills said that
It was the
that
loudest.
game was the loudest
Yeah.
that he's ever heard. He said it was like sitting there listening to jets just rumble right around you.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy that you experienced that. I mean, that you
Yeah.
know what
Kelly's
that feels
out there
like.
yelling too, right?
Well, no, but he was on the opposing.
Oh, yeah,
he,
being
he
on the
felt
opposing team
what
back
that
then.
was like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I do remember that. I remember, and I also remember the Super Bowl.
As you say, we glazed over the Super Bowl. We still got some questions about that.
So I remember the Super Bowl, and it's such a spectacular. I mean, there's just so much going on.
Yeah.
And it's like
Probably
all
one of the greatest atmospheres you could experience.
When did you get there? Is it a week ahead?
well,
couple weeks?
Damn.
We got there. It was only a week.
Yeah,
Now
I
it's
think so.
2, and I think they mixed it up.
Okay.
But in the so we go out to warm-ups, and there's just so many people out there. It's not a normal
yeah.
It's a
warm-up.
circus.
It's a circus.
Yeah.
And I remember my legs felt like they were in cement.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not good. This is not good.
Now, does the punter get any press? Like, do you get any interviews and things leading up to the Super Bowl?
Yeah. At that time, the year before, the Buffalo's kicker missed the field goal. Norwood
Oh yeah, to
missed
lose to the
Nor-
Giants.
So now it's all like, okay.
Special teams is under
Well,
my
we're
microscope.
I was low on the totem pole, so there wasn't much going on, and I could always go in when we go into our hotels, I mean, they thought I was like a manager or a trainer or something, They would go to Charles Mann and all the
Right.
other guys, give me your autograph, and I could
Daryl
just
Green,
scoot
yeah,
on-
of course,
I
yeah.
could just scoot on by, and so, but yeah.
Did you ever see anybody but your family with a Goodburn jersey? Is that a thing out there?
Yeah, not many.
I was going to
They
say.
didn't wear jerseys back then.
Thank you. I was getting
That's
ready to
fair.
say that. Yeah, back in that era, nobody wore jerseys.
Who was the
I have
company?
I can't remember who it was, but I know I have an Emmitt Smith jersey that I got at a Foot Locker, and his last name's not even on it. It was just
The 20.
it was just so that's about the time when
Yeah.
the jerseys started to come out, and they weren't sure if they could put names on jerseys.
They didn't have beer signs for advertising. They didn't want, you couldn't be associated with casinos or any of
Right.
I mean, now look at how it's changed.
Yeah.
I
Big
know.
time, right?
I know.
Everything is just, you know,
Yeah.
Especially with the app
app
betting.
now. You
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
all
I
the
know.
betting stuff and all that. It's just
That's why I said everything's just it's out there now. Easy way to.
Well, there wasn't even real tailgating until Carl Peterson and them came in. There
Oh,
wasn't
really?
Well, we weren't. I mean,
Wow.
it wasn't.
They're giving away
full-
tickets for a bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could go. We'd come out the tunnel after the games, and anybody could go right there. Now it's like high security. You know,
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
can't even get down there now. So it's changed quite a bit.
So the Redskins went to the Super Bowl and won. I'm going to guess, is that the ring that you were
Yep.
wearing?
Yeah.
Yep, that's the Super Bowl ring.
So I was going to
That's
ask
nice.
you, does third string quarterback who hurt his knee get a ring?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah. So there's if you're on the active roster, I think you get. It's kind of like baseball, and I'm not exactly sure how it goes, but if you're on the active roster, you get a Super Bowl ring. But I think it's kind of the team's discretion on if you only played 4 games, do you get one? Or
Like the ownership or somebody gets.
yeah, I'm not quite sure how that goes, but yeah.
When do you pull it out? Just get-togethers?
But yeah, I mean, I barely wear it.
Because you're such a
No,
big
it's-
Cowboys fan. So
I'm kind of a Cowboy fan.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you wearing it too. It's pretty cool. I have a good friend at work, diehard Redskins fan, and when I told him you were coming in, he was like, "What?" So I know he's going to be watching. Kevin, just shout out to you. But yeah, he's pretty excited about you coming in, and he goes, "Man, you're going to have a Redskin in your studio," and so I'm like, "Yep." He's going to come in and talk to us.
So you mentioned the group for the Chiefs. Are you a part of one for the Washington as well, or just kind of like the anniversary type thing?
Yeah. Most of the NFL teams are trying to duplicate what the Chiefs have done with their alumni. They try to figure out, okay, how do you guys do this?
Yeah.
How does this
Really?
work?
That's
It's
cool.
we have a really special group here. I don't get back to the Redskins hardly at all because it's not that I don't want to, but
not
it's
quite
just,
established.
this is my home, and
Yeah.
so
I was going to point that out about your Redskins card. I think it's got a Kansas as your hometown.
which one?
That one right there.
You got any reading glasses?
I know, right?
Does it say Mission Hills, Kansas, maybe?
Roland Park, Kansas.
Roland Park, okay.
Home, Roland Park, Kansas.
So that would have been after you already moved out there. They just got bad information on there, right?
Well, see, that's how it has to. Is it
Yeah,
all correct?
yeah.
Yeah, it looks all correct. Even it's like where you were born. I mean, geez, what's
Who did
this?
they ask to get that info? Or maybe it's just on the roster.
Well, then that makes me think of your original home. Are you the hometown hero? Like, does
Oh, that's a good
everybody know
question.
the
Yeah.
name, Kelly?
Where I grew up?
Yeah, the home-
yeah, 200. I mean,
Yeah, those 200, maybe a little bit more now, but if I was the high school or the neighboring town, I'd blow that up. I'm like, oh, we got
Yeah.
his jersey, these are his actual shoes back in the day.
we
Name a
had,
highway, maybe.
Yeah,
we had
changed his
I don't
high
know.
school.
I don't know what it was. It was maybe 7-8 years ago. The NFL came out with anybody who played in the Super Bowl. They gave us a golden football, and then they gave that to our high school.
Oh, cool.
So I went back and presented the ball and blah blah blah, and so I'm at this assembly and talking to these kids and whatnot, and yeah, my dad kind of remembers you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, man.
So you never actually made it into the classroom then, or did you?
2 weeks, I thought you said.
But after the career, after football, I don't know.
I did both of my student teaching, elementary and secondary, and then when I did that, I figured I don't want to do that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I found out that wasn't for me, and the coaching on the, so
Yeah.
So when I was done, I was like, okay, now I went to college, and now what do I do here?
Yeah.
What's I just
So what was the total number of years in the NFL?
six credited seasons, 7
Okay.
seasons I played.
Okay.
So once you get out of the NFL, I use him as an example, and we'd kind of talked about this. He used to coach all of his kids in basketball, football, baseball, everything that he could because he used to play sports. Is
Yeah.
that same for you? Or are you a shower? You a doer?
I'm kind of a follower in that regard. I was, if they needed some help,
Oh, okay.
I would do that. But I loved to coach my kids in the backyard.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that part. And I mean, even my oldest son, I never pushed him to be a punter, or my youngest son either, Corey. And then he didn't even go out for football until he was in 8th grade. Kyle.
Oh, okay.
Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went out to high school, and then I think they had a block punt or two in the first game, and he said, Kyle,
We just swap them out.
Kyle, we need to get you in there. And then Kyle kind of figured out, well, I better maybe get some punters from my dad.
Yeah. Ask the
So he was the punter in high school?
He was. He
Okay.
started as a freshman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so he punted all along, and he kept getting better, and then I worked with him, and he wanted me to work with him.
I was going to say, is it like a dad knows way more than me, so I need to just listen to everything that he has, or Kyle have his own style in there?
He was a really good listener, and that's what I tell kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of these kids, you go to these camps, and you're like, well, I already know how to do this. Well, listen, you're here to learn. Why don't you try it? Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't, but you might learn something, right? And he was a good learner. He was a good listener. He would incorporate things, and I got a lot of satisfaction from that. Even when he went to Northwest, I mean, it was.
Boo.
Because he did well there,
He
right?
did.
Yeah.
He did. He was like an All-American his
Yeah.
sophomore year, and
They won too.
I was
They
going to
were-
say, yeah,
were-
didn't
were
they win?
champions,
Yeah, that's what I
They
thought.
won.
Yeah.
Did he get any looks? I mean, was there?
he tried out with one of those tryout camps.
Okay.
Same thing.
And he just Kyle
Was it
didn't.
Reno?
Yeah. Well, actually, it was in San Diego.
Okay.
Because I remember we took him out there, and I played Torrey Pines.
Hey, there you go.
I remember that. But he, Kyle was really good. I mean, he didn't have the big leg, and he wasn't the big kid like they want to see, bombs going on.
Yeah.
And he was pretty consistent, very,
So you didn't take him out to the back shed and say, "See this bike right here?"
Yeah.
Do some
need to
wheelies.
run a wheelie up there.
No, we've talked a couple episodes ago about kids these days are doing less and less multi-sport, and they're focusing on one sport. They're doing club, school, and things like that. Do you have any opinions on that?
Yeah, I mean, just from what I know and what I've, I couldn't wait for the next sport to happen.
Right.
I mean, I was 10 weeks or whatever. I was done with that.
Yeah.
Let's get on to something new and exciting. And then it's like the spring, the seasons here.
Yeah.
I mean, and I also think it's like when you're that young, it's like, gosh, it's like, I mean, what else are you going to learn? I mean, some
Different
of these,
coaches, just
yeah, and some, I don't know. We all day with.
I
that
know
stuff.
that's yeah.
It's
It's too much of a business now for kids.
It's a
It is,
business.
and it's not fair to the kids and that want to play multiple sports, and then you have to choose early, and then you could have been great at something else, but you've chosen a different path. And yeah, I know I go down that hole too. Yeah.
I played football at North until my senior year, but the reason I stopped playing was I felt like it was a job.
yeah.
We did football,
Yes.
then we did weights, then you do 7-on-7, then you do summer. Like, there was no pause. There was no
Yeah.
time to just be a high school student.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Can you
me
imagine?
take one off.
Can you imagine now in college, these college kids now? I mean,
I can't.
and now that at least they're getting paid.
NIL deals
Oh,
are getting-
yeah.
I know,
At
right?
least they're getting paid.
Yes.
But I mean, the commitment that they have. I mean, they're all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, I would have hated that. I mean, I couldn't wait to get out of there in May to go home for 2 months. You
Yeah.
know?
Right. What's the percentage now for someone to become a professional football player? I know it's
It's less than
crazy.
2%.
It can't be
Right?
high
All
at
the
all.
college players, it's less than 2%, maybe.
A lot of them are withholding going to the draft anyways because they're making so much money through the
Right.
NBA. Just
Well, isn't
I'll hold off.
it's crazy. That's why I asked Kelly, which hopefully Brian Schottenheimer could be as good as Dad. Here, you want to pull the mic closer to you?
He's got, I think, a lot of difficulties. I mean, anybody being the Cowboys coach.
It's just
Right.
the biggest stage for scrutiny, too. You know?
Yeah. But you know what? Who knows, right? I mean, I don't know how he commands a locker room or if he's got the respect of the team, the players. I'm guessing he does, but
He's been in the league. I can't think for how long, but this is his first time being a head coach.
Yeah, he's been an assistant coach, offensive coordinator.
But like every coach has their first year being a head coach. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
He's just getting a lot older. I
Later,
think
yeah.
compared to now, a lot of
'Cause I
these
think
coaches
he's
getting younger.
55 years old, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, when you know, Kelly, I was going to ask you, a lot of these coaches are young coaches. I mean, I think one of them is 32
McVay.
years old, right? And a lot of them didn't even play in the NFL. What do you think about that? Like, I mean, one of them was just carrying a clipboard for the longest time, and all of a sudden he's a head coach. What's
As a player,
as
having
you
to listen to
yeah.
somebody who never experienced stepping on the field. I mean,
Well, that's kind of like announcers, right? That's why they're all former players,
Right.
because they're critiquing everybody, and it's like, well, what do you know? You didn't even play, but
Yeah.
these guys do, and they kind of even
They've just been studying. That's what they were doing.
yeah. But there are some really bright young kids that are coming in, and they're just so. I mean, I don't know. I mean.
just like Coach McVay, right?
Yeah,
Young guy.
McVay's
I mean,
young.
he did his time and he became a head coach and took the Rams to the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
maybe his first year or whatever it was.
Well, I heard that their D coordinator was the Rams defensive coordinator, some grandson of some
Somebody?
famous
Coach?
It was a Lombardi, maybe, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, well, I never heard of that guy, but their defense is really good,
Yeah.
and they remolded it, and so he's getting somehow they shape those kids and those young staffs. They
Yeah.
don't, and a lot of times they just don't want to take chances. The older coaches don't want to take chances. They're gonna get a old
So his name's Chris Shula. He's the grandson of Don
Don
Shula.
Shula.
That's what
Don
it was.
Shula's-
Yeah.
Man.
And he's had a bunch of Shulas around there,
Yeah.
coaches,
Yeah.
offensive guys.
Before we hit the full playoffs, then let me ask you: how do you feel about these teams that are just going for it on fourth down these days? They're taking the punter out of the game.
oh,
It's working.
Well, when I'm long and gone on this planet, we're going to have a 7-on-7 league in the
Okay.
NFL. They're going to have multi-teams. They're going to have 4 teams, and they're going to be playing on a field because it's just the people are just ADD.
soft. Oh.
But they're getting rid of the kicking is it's not as important as was. They're changing rules all the time, and
Trying to make it interesting. So.
Yeah. How did you feel about the new kickoff rule that was?
I get it with the concussions and how safer it is.
Yeah.
It might take us a while to get
really
used
get
to
used to
that
it.
and adjust a few things. But I get that because there's some major collisions on the kickoffs.
We watched the Super Bowl you were in. Jim Kelly was getting torn up in that game.
Yeah.
He went to slide and he just gets right to the face.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, you've tried to hurt those in those days. You tried to hurt the
Try
players.
to hurt the players to knock them out of the game, and
I remember when we played my rookie year. We played Detroit on Thanksgiving, and we had a backup offensive lineman was going down on a kickoff. I mean, and this they were showing this the next day in the film
room,
right, and he's barreling down there, and he doesn't know to go like this to look to see who's gonna block
the
him.
swivel,
right?
yeah,
He's going down here, and he goes wham. He gets his feet fly up,
decleated.
and he's on the ground and he's stumbling around. He got concussed.
Yeah.
And he falls down and he gets up and he goes like 3 more yards and wham again.
Oh no!
And I mean, we're just like, this is too funny. I mean, we were dying. But you show that now and it's like, oh wow, that's
so
that's
everybody's
not good.
everybody's there in the film room and they're looking at him. He's asleep.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't get taken out back then, and
Right.
you certainly were a tough guy. I mean, guys played with broken legs and
Now,
all that stuff. Yeah.
would you say other positions were getting cut as freely as you and your punting career had felt? Like would a linebacker have a couple not so great games and then they're cut that next week, or are they a little more?
Yeah. The coaches, and even to this day, they don't really know how to kick or punt. But they can see if you've missed a few or field goals or if you've hit a few bad punts. And then their attention span gets less. And then it's like, okay, I'm done here.
Yeah.
Let's get somebody else. The other position, they have maybe a little bit more leniency. But I will say this you look at the stats. Like when Jan Stenerud is one of only 2 Hall of Fame place kickers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at his stats, his career stats. I think he's like 67% or somewhere in there.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even make a team today with that percentage. But having multiple conversations with him, he was like, Kelly. He goes, we didn't even have a kicking net.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't think about that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we couldn't warm up. I mean, we may have only had like 4 reps in practice from the week where I had my holder and snapper. And the fields were awful. And so, but the difference is now, I mean, you even look when I played, our stats were, I mean, if you averaged 44 yards on gross, you were like a Pro Bowl guy.
Yeah.
Now they net 44. All of them are like around 50. Man. And you're like, are these guys that much better? Well, they're really good. Don't get me wrong, but the difference is the snapper. They got the NFL has full-time snappers. And when's the last time you saw a bad snap?
They train for snaps. They literally
That's all
train
they do.
for it. Like we said, one sport athletes. Like there's people that they
never
know they're
had
going to be a
that.
long snapper.
Yeah, they never had.
Just think you had Sarah snapping. She probably could do it now.
She might have a problem getting a job this year.
But man,
But before we talk playoffs, Kelly, I have a few questions I want to ask about a punter. Did you ever fake punt?
Yes.
Yeah. How were you successful?
Yes. I used to kind of go on my own in college.
Okay.
When there would be a rush, but then I had one punt in when we played with the Chiefs. We played the Raiders at home, and I took my 2 steps, and I released the ball. The ball came out of my hand.
Okay.
It
An
actually no. It
Okay.
actually came, and I'm thinking, oh my God, there's a white blob here, and I caught it
Out of the air.
and went around and made a first down.
Nice.
That's,
Chris, pull the tape.
that's pretty cool.
Does the coach
Yeah.
get mad at that? Do they? Are they
No,
happy?
because
Like-
I made it. I
Okay.
made a first down. and it was
Okay,
like,
yeah.
good job there.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
And did you win that game?
we actually did. I think
It was because of that. It
and-
was.
and
It was. What it
here's
was.
a good trivia for you too.
All right. Next trivia night, we're bringing it up.
Kelly Goodburn outrushed Bo Jackson that game.
Yeah. Wow. Nice.
He got hurt like on the second play.
Oh, there you go.
I
There you
had
go.
10 yards.
Hey, that's,
You know, with you saying that, I just saw the stat. And of course, it's a meme. Everybody putting it out there. The Redskins. I'm sorry, the Commanders punter threw for more yards in an NFC Championship game than Romo and Dak. I'm like, come on, and it's true because he fake punt,
Fake punt,
and he threw that,
it.
and it was very successful. But yeah, but for them to do that, Kelly, come on.
That's bad. That's bad.
that's a LeBron stat.
That's-
You know, where they just find the most obscure
That's
thing
what
that's
you were
never
saying.
happened.
There's too many stats
Yeah.
out there, right? Jeez.
Another one. Let me see. Where was it? After a punt, did you have to ever make a tackle?
Yes. Yeah.
How were those?
So those are easy.
Oh yeah,
Those are
Oh,
easy.
man, that's not what I was expecting.
No, because
because you wanted to, right? You wanted to hit somebody.
well, no, because
Okay.
if I had to tackle somebody, that means they kind of got some yardage on us. Or
Yeah,
they probably hit
yeah,
a line
right,
drive or
yeah.
something. But I was always taught that when you kick it, when you punt it, you can't just like stand around and just walk
Wave
down.
to
You got to
everybody.
get down there because if the returner does break it,
Yeah.
if you're 10 yards from here to the wall
Yeah.
and you're gonna tackle this guy going
not
full
gonna
steam,
happen.
it's not. And I mean, nobody, the DBs can't even do that,
Right.
But you make so you get up there and I was bigger than all the returners, so
Oh, okay.
it wasn't a big deal for me.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't mind it.
It was a good form tackle.
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah.
Square up, stay low.
You
Well,
just had to make sure that you didn't get ear holed.
Oh yeah.
yeah, I was gonna ask
Somebody
if
peel back and block you.
Have you ever been blindsided? I mean, just
The only time I was blindsided was on a fake field goal, and
Were you also?
I was.
Were you the holder?
I was a holder for 3 games in '90.
Okay.
We ran a fake field goal in Green Bay, and I, put it down, and then I spun around and started running, and it looked like there was just so much green
grass.
Yeah.
and I'm just hauling,
and then
see
you
the
realize,
pylon.
and no, and then he realized he was running the wrong way, and you're like,
And then you realize, like, okay, I just ran all this time, and I'm just back to the line of scrimmage. Then all of a sudden, these green people start coming, you
Yeah.
know? And so I'm getting close to the first down, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to fool this guy. I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop and let him run
Stop
by
on a
me.
dime.
Swim.
So I he ran by me, and then another guy came and just smacked me.
Took
And
the
I
helmet
saw
off.
stars. That was the biggest hit I
And they were
had.
all aiming for the head at that point, right?
Yeah, probably.
That's when they left their feet. They just all.
Yeah.
Throwing their body like a torpedo.
Yep.
and all right, last silly question. Was there were you ever starstruck yourself being out there? Was it like you saw somebody?
I mean,
Yeah.
Bo
Played
Jackson?
against or whatever.
Yeah, that you played against.
Well, when I first got signed with the Chiefs, I mean, I'm a fan
Okay.
up to that point.
Yeah.
And then now all of a sudden I signed, and now I'm in the locker room, and I see Art Still and these guys, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Really?
And
How-
I'm
how
like,
about-
wait a minute,
Yeah.
you're a
You're
part
one
of
of
the
them.
Pinch
team
yourself.
now.
Yeah.
How
Pinch
about on the
yourself.
opposing side?
Not really.
No?
Not really. Just, a lot of respect for Joe Montana and some of those guys that you played, but not not so much starstruck because you had.
But
Did you get much interaction with him? Like, I mean, nowadays after a game, everyone's kind of mingling on the field. Was that kind of the same back then, or not so much?
You normally after the games you go over and get your kickers and punters and you talk to them. You
Oh,
don't- you
yeah,
don't
that's
talk, you
like
know.
the quarterbacks usually meet. And the,
Yeah, and that's about it. And then I don't know. They seemed like they go out and pray at halftime.
Yeah,
or
some of
after
them.
there. Some of them do, but and if you played with a guy on the other team in college,
There you
or,
go.
or then you
Reunite.
go seek them out. But I mean, I never went up to Joe Montana and
no.
you know.
Oh, yeah, you see.
I mean,
It's a hell of an honor.
Joe, can I have your autograph?
There you go, yeah. Yeah, I mean, was there trading jerseys back then?
No,
Nobody traded jerseys, right?
I asked earlier, do you have some good NFL jerseys still?
I have a couple Chiefs and a couple Redskin ones. I got my both helmets.
Oh, cool.
Man, those would be cool to see.
I got my
Do they charge you for those?
yeah.
They bill you?
Yeah, they did way back then, so I'm sure
that's
they.
messed
I don't
up.
know what they do now.
Now they're just giving away jerseys now.
I'm
Well,
like,
I know they charge them for that, like the NFL and in the NBA. If you do a jersey swap, they're charging you for it.
yeah. I mean,
I remember when they would, the players would, I mean, they probably still do this now, but they would get fined if they would throw a ball into the stands and stuff like that.
yeah, $500. I think
Was
was
it?
a standard.
$500
I
football.
don't know if.
We forgot to ask you about the balls.
Yeah, so that's a.
Oh, the slick.
Is there a?
slick thing.
Did you have a prep? What's your preferred ball when you're punting?
one that's been worked on for 2 months.
Not a brand new one.
Not
Yeah,
a,
yeah.
And so when I played, they would give they only had so many balls, and they came right out of the box. And different years you could get these balls before, and you could work them in, and we would rub them down because they had this film on them that was like water resistant, and they were slick. That's where Romo dropped the snap.
Yeah,
So they changed the rule after that because they didn't want to have a playoff game where the quarterback drops it, and
That was such a defeating game.
yeah.
I remember being here watching that game.
Yeah.
The Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean, that was.
But it's hard to kick those dang things.
Yeah.
And then so there were, the dome teams would, they would reuse them, and they were just like, and the reporters would say, "Guy, you had a great game. What was the difference?" The kicking ball was the difference. We could boot that thing a mile, and then.
Yeah.
But now they have the kicker. You see the guy with the K on the sideline.
Yeah,
Only
it's
holds
Oh,
the
yeah,
kickoff
only
balls,
holds the
right?
kickoff
Those
Yeah.
are all, and Kyle, my son, works the game day for him,
Oh, cool.
and he was telling me that they have 3 kicking balls, and they can work one of them for like an hour or something before the game, so they rub it real down, and it's really compressible, and they can really hit it good. And then they only spend 15 minutes on
Oh, the
the other one because balls don't go out of the stands. But so if you notice, like during extra points, they have the net, and if a kicker hits one over the net,
They gotta
will
go get it.
They got to go get it,
Oh,
and the
man.
fan doesn't
Don't wanna give it
doesn't
back.
want to give it back. So they have balls that are signed by the kicker, punter, and long
To
snapper
trade out.
to trade out. So they get that ball, and hopefully they get it back before they kick off, so they can have that. I mean,
That's got to be a job in itself, just
it's-
waiting on it.
It's
Yeah.
Wow.
It's yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, because I've seen the punters or the kickers. They'll take the ball and they'll put
Right.
it in the ground and kind of
try to yeah.
try. Yeah,
And then you get in these cold games, and
yeah. And that was my
it's
next
like,
question about is it ball literally
It's hard.
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Like
and
kicking
then
a brick.
And then when you have your punting shoe or kicking shoe, you got to have it fit like a glove.
Yeah, it's
So it's tight, and then your feet get cold, and then you're gonna go hit a cold ball, and it's like,
Ouch. Yeah.
You still have those cleats?
yeah, I got a couple, I think,
Do you?
somewhere
Oh, next to the
balls
Letterman jacket. And
next to the
Have balls evolved since then, or still?
They have a little bit. Not, probably not that much, because I think the same company
makes them.
does it, and yeah, but yeah.
They're going to evolve where they're going to put a microchip inside of them now.
Yeah,
and
that's what
try
they're
to
saying.
People are
like.
trying to start a petition for that.
Yeah, I know. I heard that. So
Oh,
that
because-
it will know exactly where the ball is on the field in case there's a pile up, for instance,
mean,
of what
they-
happened with.
Interesting, a GPS.
Yeah.
A GPS chip.
All because of
So-
the Chiefs and the Bills.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
and it's always that, it's, I mean, because I mean I saw videos from the top angle and it does look like he did get the first down, but you still can't
But
really.
those cameras are never on the on
The
the
angle,
post
they're
either,
not-
you
yeah,
know?
they're
not.
Like,
Right.
Angle.
yeah, they're looking, but it's not like they're putting that camera right on the first down line just so you can clearly see in that.
I know,
it's
right?
a product of the game.
So they're gonna just put that chip in there, and as soon as it crosses the line, beep, it'll beep. Okay, we got the first down. Nobody needs to know anything.
Probably happen. It'll probably
Yeah.
It'll probably be that way
when they're playing 7-on-7, like you
when they're
said.
playing 7-on-7
With no kickers.
No kickers.
I feel like you're going to run into kind of what they do in baseball, but they want to keep the human element in there, with the
Yeah, they
umpires
need
and
to.
things like
Right.
that. 'Cause
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah, the
you
referees.
again, apparently Amazon AWS, I'm sure they could tell you exactly where that ball ended up to the
Right.
blade of grass on that turf. But is that fun?
I just, as a fan now, it's like there's just too many replays, and I get it. You want to get
As
it right,
accurate.
but I mean, do you gotta in a basketball game? Do you gotta
Yeah.
shave 0.4 seconds off the clock?
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than what it was. At least we can review them, and I mean, there was times when you'd have a touchdown and they would call it not a touchdown.
Yeah.
It was
Right.
clearly a touchdown.
Yeah, like
We're rolling into the playoffs. Did Xavier Worthy catch that ball?
I was in the stand, so I saw a replay where
it does. The point of the ball hits the ground.
So the ball can hit the ground, but apparently you've got to have control of it, and it can't jar the ball when making contact.
See,
that's the stupidest rule that
Right.
we have in the NFL. There's just so many movable parts there.
Yeah.
Why do you have to catch it and then take 2 steps and then
yeah,
if you
make a
fall to
football
the
move,
ground,
right?
And then if you fall to the ground, you can't. I mean, it's the play. You caught it. You
Yeah.
took 2 steps, and it should be over.
Can I ask you the hot topic then?
Yeah,
Did Des Bryant catch that ball against the Packers?
yeah. I thought he did.
So did every Dallas
So
fan
did
in
we.
the world.
Yeah. We were celebrating, Kelly. Everything was good, and then what? Yeah, that was it was crazy. And then that's when the rule changed.
Mm-hmm.
After that, that's
Yeah.
10 years ago, whatever.
Yeah, I hate that rule. I hate that. The fumbling.
Yeah.
It's just
Even
there's-
now they're like, oh, that was 1 move, but not 2 moves. They're micro analyzing everything rather than
It's just enjoying
the
the
play.
game.
Yeah, the play happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of playoffs, what do you think, Kelly? Is the 3-peat in effect? Oh, I better not get charged for that, but is it in effect?
Chiefs Pete.
The Chiefs Pete? Yeah.
Chiefs Pete. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I would never bet against Mahomes.
Right.
I
And
know.
know,
There have been some nail biters this year, though.
I've only seen him in the tank one time, and that was that second half of that Bengals game. The one where they beat us.
Yeah.
He wasn't himself, but I mean, but he's human, right? But he is such a competitor, and I don't know. They're so well coached, the Chiefs, and we're healthy.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
Always the biggest thing. And I said, well, I mean, if we have a lineman or go down, I mean, we're going to be in trouble because we kind of makeshift it. We don't talk about that hardly anymore, right? We had some real problems there at the end of the year with our line protection.
You guys had some problems with some false starts for a while, too.
We didn't have one last game, did
They
we?
cleaned them up. No.
How does that happen?
He
How
cleaned
does
it
that
up.
happen? I know they kind of keep their flags in their pockets a little bit more in the playoff games, but that's pretty impressive that they did clean that up.
Yeah.
And our Mahomes' lone Super Bowl loss we kind of had a decimated line
that year.
that year. So
He just makes magic happen when there's absolutely nothing there.
Yeah.
you know,
That's his
His
competitiveness.
receivers and
Yeah.
his tight ends are also really good at scrambling, though. Like knowing when they need to improvise and then getting
Yeah,
open.
yeah.
I think that's a
Yeah,
strong
you know
point.
this, and this is it's a good season, especially for DeAndre Hopkins, right? I mean, they even interviewed him after the game, and he couldn't be more grateful. I mean, he's got 10 plus years in the league. Finally gets to a Super Bowl, you know. So I'd love to see him get his ring. You know, it's
Would you say he's an A-lister
well,
receiver?
no.
you know, and then what about Brett Veach and we've had a lot of injuries through the Pacheco, the receivers, you know, all that stuff, and they brought Kareem Hunt in. I mean,
Yeah, what'd you think about that?
I mean-
bringing him back
well, I thought it was, you know,
at the time as
Andy has always been a second chance guy, if you ask me.
yeah,
I mean, he brought Michael Vick back. I
right.
mean,
Okay.
some other receivers. So he's been a second chance guy, and you know it's worked out for us, and he has probably learned. He was probably young, but I thought it was great. But you know, another thing is that you've got these core veterans, Kelsey, and they rule the locker room. I can tell you. I mean, I don't know it for a fact, but I'm just saying. There's no, I want the ball, or you know, why am
He's
I?
so good at taking the eyes away so that somebody else can do that. And I think at this point in his career, he's okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he's gotten the accolades, he's gotten the record. Like, I just want to play my part type
And,
thing.
and
you know?
everybody on the team is like that. They
Yeah.
don't have to
Yeah.
have all this me, and this
Right.
and that.
Yeah.
They're just, it's a nice, it's
Yeah.
pretty special run. And I mean, I hope they win. I don't know if they're going to win, but
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. I mean, I'm not sure what the Chiefs are against the run.
Saquon's just on fire.
He's on fire right now, you know, and so it'll be a good challenge. And the Chiefs defense, they have been playing well. You know, they've been playing really good. Everybody, like I say, everybody makes a play. You know, everybody's just they're doing their job.
Now, did you ever
Doing
hear
their
the
job.
conspiracy theory about Brett Veach? They say that he intentionally tanked the quarterback market by giving Mahomes that gigantic contract, and then they made everybody else start giving out gigantic contracts just to restructure Mahomes, bring some better people in with him, and then everybody's overpaying their quarterbacks where they can't pay anybody else.
yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It's a conspiracy theory.
Well, I don't buy that. I
Right.
think they paid him a bunch of money on
Yeah,
that
yeah.
contract. That was the biggest sports.
But right after, there was a couple people that just did not. Was it maybe Trevor Lawrence or Joe Burrow? Like people that were still pretty fresh were getting
Yeah.
Big contract.
big numbers up there as well, and that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
They inflated those, and then they were like, okay, we'll work it out with Mahomes on our own, but now you're stuck with that guy for 5 years, you know?
Well, look at the receivers. You could say that with these receivers, they're making $35 million. I mean,
Yeah.
Tariq's mad.
crazy.
Tyreek Hill's mad because he's like the fourth or fifth highest paid receiver
Yeah,
now.
Who
He
is
went
the
over there to
first?
be the first. He went over there to be the first.
Yeah, because I think CeeDee Lamb is number two, right? So-
Jefferson at the
Oh,
Vikings.
I think it is
Yeah,
Jefferson.
Justin
Yeah,
Yeah, and the Bengal guy will probably be if he's not.
Jamar
Chase.
Chase.
And well, the probably the Lion guy, that Saint.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I think he's
Yep.
making
Oh,
some
yeah.
big money, but
Or will be, yeah.
that's a lot. I mean, that's what's so interesting to me is the salary cap and what the pieces of the pie and how much am I gonna give you and I mean look at Tommy Townsend. I mean it wasn't a big deal, but I think he made $3.5 million from the Texans, and the Chiefs weren't going to pay him that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with what he did. It just okay, we'll save a couple million.
Yeah, I just, I think a lot of these receivers, I think, play a little differently when they know Mahomes is their quarterback. And and Mahomes has made a lot of these receivers look awesome. You know, they all
Juju Smith-Schuster still has a career.
right.
You know, he
yeah.
was on the decline of just not much production, and now, I mean,
yeah. And
very,
then,
very rarely
and
does he
then-
get the ball, but it's in key moments, and he's
yeah. And then Worthy, just that kid is you know,
Fast.
he's good.
I'm going to guess
good.
that Brown's going to have a good Super Bowl. I
Yeah.
think he Hollywood.
Hollywood Brown, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going
He's
to.
another one, yeah.
I think he's going to light it up.
man.
But
Man.
you know, I don't know. They're not. They're doing short, quick passes because of the line protection.
Mm-hmm.
I think, which is good. You know.
Yeah.
And you don't.
And what was good to see also was that Mahomes, I mean, they let him run. They let him be that running quarterback, and he was very successful with those runs.
he's
they-
sneaky fast, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah, it's wild. You know, he doesn't look that fast, but he do
Yeah.
this with the ball all day long, and he's jerking people around, and
Even when you're past the line, he's still,
yeah,
I know.
he's
just
still
throw
yeah.
off.
He's a.
But like I tell people, he's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
He is really fun to watch.
He is, and he's
You know?
his. I tell you, the biggest thing that I like about him is how he's handled himself in the media.
Yeah.
And his answers to everything. It's just, I mean, and he's been in 8 years now, right?
That's-
I mean,
that's-
his rookie. I mean, he was so far advanced
Yeah,
in his
definitely.
interviews and giving, you know,
Yeah.
kudos.
Now, are you okay if either he or Kelsey decides to retire after a third championship in a row?
You know,
Hypothetical, all hypothetical.
I would say that if they win again, everybody's back. They will.
think so?
They will.
Think so?
Oh, man.
Well, look at the old Bulls. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, they kept circling the wagons and then they may dismantle. But I mean, but there's a salary cap in the NFL, so I think Kelsey. My guess is that as long as he's productive and healthy, he'll probably play. Well, why wouldn't you if you have Mahomes passing you the ball? And
Yeah.
But I think Mahomes he'll be around here.
Yeah,
for a
I think so
long
too.
time.
Yeah.
I think so.
He still
too.
moves around like it's his first or second year in the league.
As long as
you know?
he stays healthy
Yep.
and you know, there's a lot of I mean, they've got that cohesiveness with Andy and.
So you
all-
can see Coach Reed sticking around another year.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Right.
There's no
reason to.
There's no. Oh God, I hate going to my job. All this.
Yeah,
prep,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Man.
life
yeah.
is good now.
Yeah.
What's Taylor Swift like?
I've never met her.
Damn, I thought you were gonna give me a good story.
No, I just know that there was a lot of excitement last year. Everybody, you know.
The NFL, you know,
I
they're
don't
saying the NFL is loving it that they have her
Oh,
in the
ab-
picture, you know, and
The Swifties, yeah, it's all good.
yeah, like I was telling Sandy that I saw some lady walking. It was last week. She had a jacket on, had big 87 on the front, and on the back 87, but it said Taylor's boyfriend. It didn't say Kelsey. It said Taylor's boyfriend. Yeah, I was like, okay.
I think it's all great. I
do too.
don't see anything wrong with it. I know
don't
some.
either.
I heard some people are mad that they show her on TV. But I
Yeah.
I think it's just because the Chiefs are winning.
Yeah.
If they
Yeah.
weren't the
If-
number one team, then
You know what?
it
Like the
wouldn't be a
guys on
big
the
deal.
radio are like, you know what? If you don't want the Chiefs to win, freaking do something about it.
It's like
Right.
Josh Allen said, you got to, in order.
You got to beat,
you
yeah,
The
gotta
road
beat
goes through
the
Kansas
best.
City right now.
You got to beat those guys, or
yeah.
gotta
To be
beat-
the best, you got to beat the best.
Yeah, and-
It's just period. That's what it is.
you got to do it.
Yeah, and put chips in the footballs, and maybe it'll be different. So,
I was going to ask you very quickly, are you ever a Vikings fan still? Is it
Oh,
down
that's right.
down deep? You still have any love for the Vikings, or you
got
just
that
abandoned them?
purple and gold in you.
No, I mean,
No.
I'm a fan of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I root for. I kind of like dominant teams. I like, I'm a bandwagoner, but I like the dominating teams. I like the Yukon women, going 147-1.
That's
or whatever
crazy,
they did.
right? Yeah.
I love that. So I like the old Lakers and the Bulls and all that. But I'd like to see. But so no, I don't have any. I mean, I went to Iowa State and Emporia State, and I have a bunch of KU stuff because my wife is from KU.
KU.
And we go to KU games all the time. So,
Yeah.
but, yeah.
See, so like we're K-State fans because our son went to K-State, so I kind of stuck in. We love watching the girls
Right
basketball
now.
right now. Yeah, they're a pretty good team. Even though
Yeah,
they lost
they
to
are.
Colorado, but yeah, they're a good squad. They're fun to watch. We've
Yeah.
gone to a few games. We're
Yeah.
actually planning to go to the when they play KU girls because we actually have a family friend that their daughter plays for
They're
KU.
rated, aren't they? K-State? Are they?
Yeah,
they're
they're in the
or
top 5,
up
I think.
there?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a good squad.
So will you be going to the Super Bowl?
No,
No.
nope, not this year.
No,
Did you go to any of the previous?
Went to the Miami one.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fun. My sister lives in Fort Myers area, so we
Okay.
went and stayed there, and then drove to the game and did
Oh,
all
fun.
that.
Yeah.
cool.
But yeah, tickets are kind of expensive now.
Sheesh, I know.
Somebody was telling me
Yeah.
that lower level end zoners $4,600 a piece. Face
My-
value.
Yeah.
Face
Crazy.
value.
It's not even resale.
Oh,
And that's not even getting down there.
Yeah, that's true.
I have to ask. I have to backtrack. The Super Bowl year. Did you make the Pro Bowl?
No.
What?
Can you believe that?
No.
I was average at best. I was a middle of the road punter. That was
still, I
about it.
mean,
yeah.
I was gonna,
That's a big part of the team. I
did
mean,
you have a
it's-
specialty? Like, were you I can angle it just right and get it at the
I
2
was
yard line?
good
or-
inside the 20. We
Okay.
didn't do that spin kick that they do, the rugby kick.
Yeah.
where- We didn't do that.
Pooch kick
but
kinda thing?
We directionally kicked, and they didn't want us to kick it 50 yards. They wanted us to kick it high. And,
Hang time.
on the sideline. So that was tough to do that, to go right, left, and kick it over there instead of just bombing it down the
Yeah.
middle.
have you been in in Jerry's World? Have you been in the stadium?
I have not. I
Really?
have not been in Jerry's World.
Okay. Because this next season, Chiefs
Playing.
will be going to Dallas.
Okay. And then
So-
they got a Super
so
Bowl.
I'll
in a
call you.
couple
We'll go.
years.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll
Give
go.
me Super Bowl tickets a couple years ago when they played down there.
Oh, okay.
I think the Super Bowl's in a couple years down there.
I don't know. Yeah.
Jerry's World. It's in Levi Stadium next year, and then SoFi, and then Jerry's World.
Really?
I
So it's
believe.
already. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we got them all figured out. You almost got to do that now if you want.
It's kind of like the Olympics.
You
where
know-
they're bidding
go
for
like, okay,
years.
can I
Yeah.
get a hotel?
All right.
I ask about if you've been in the state because of the what do you call it, the jumbotron,
The Jumbotron.
Oh.
the
hitting
very
it.
first few years punters,
The punters were
were
hitting,
hitting
it.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think they were purposely hitting it,
Yeah.
because they're like, okay, well, I'm not
Try
going to
it,
let this
yeah.
die. I'm going to try to hit it, and and then
So
now,
what's the call if you hit it?
They just replay it, right?
yeah.
Oh, you replay? Oh.
I think
Yeah, I
replay
think they
that.
were just trying to prove a point. Like, come on, yeah, you guys got a nice big screen here, but I'm gonna hit it.
Yeah,
You know?
they were trying to hit it. That
Right.
was even in warm ups. I heard that.
Wow.
I don't know what they've done if they fixed that. Or,
Yeah, I don't know either.
You stopped hearing
damn it.
about it, so maybe
Yeah.
they did something. You
Well,
know,
Maybe they
remember-
made the balls a little heavier now, so you kick it, it don't go as high.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, remember the Metrodome, and they would, or the domes, they would hit.
up to
ceiling.
The beams.
the
and-
rafters.
They would hit them, and it's
Really?
like, where's it at? Oh, it's
Here clunking around up there. Like,
It's kind of like that in baseball. They would hit a ball and
Yeah.
you'd be like, where'd it go? You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, well, hopefully get the 3-peat done.
Yep, that'd be great, wouldn't it? And then we
Yeah.
can talk about 4-peat and
Yeah.
I know, to keep
No,
going.
then the Cowboys are winning after that.
We'll see.
Schottenheimer
We'll see.
success.
Yeah.
We'll see.
The oh man, I hit it in the back of my head. Oh, were you hoping for a Commanders Chiefs Super Bowl?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought if that would have happened, I thought you would have come in here in jersey split jersey, and that would have been cool. And I was kind of hoping that was going to happen, knowing that you were
Well,
coming
I wore
in.
my Redskin ring
Yeah.
instead of the 3 Super Bowl
The
Chiefs rings
ones,
that
yeah.
I have.
Okay.
So that's the alliance.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'll have to get a picture of that for my buddy.
Yeah.
But,
Wait, what 3 Super Bowl Chiefs rings do you have?
Well,
the
last
recent
three-
ones.
You get to
Yes.
buy into that because you were a former player.
An
Oh,
ambassador, they give us
Rings.
rings.
That's awesome.
oh, okay.
They're level rings, so
Oh, okay.
there's certain levels. So the players, coaches, they get the top tier
Uh-huh.
ring, and then maybe staff and
Yeah.
all that, and so there's certain levels, and
That's
Okay.
maybe some of the rubies aren't real,
Yeah.
a little different, but
Okay.
they still get our names.
Did
know-
they have the really cool one where like the top came off and something was underneath it? Was that,
was
maybe
a
2 years
Put
ago?
your pills in there.
Yeah, they had one where
Yeah.
the Rams started that, I think, when
Yeah.
they won it, and you can take it off or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, in the last episode, I had brought up, and you may know this, I don't know if you do, but the Packers, their Super Bowl ring has 3 diamonds in it, so they're kind of claiming they were the first team to three-peat, even though the '65 season wasn't in the NFL.
in the
but,
NFL.
but they did win that championship, and then they won the next 2. So that third ring has the 3
Three
diamonds in it for three Super Bowls. But
Yeah, that's a good argument, I guess.
I know, right?
Right.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when
Nah.
nobody's ever.
But nobody's saying anything.
Yeah.
They don't
Nah.
want to. They don't want to pay Pat Riley. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. So maybe being a red coater, maybe one day you will be able to rub elbows with Pat.
Pat. Well, I have a picture with Pat.
Oh, do you?
When he was a rookie.
Oh,
We
okay.
had, the ambassadors had we had an event with the rookies
cool.
Oh, okay.
and out at Top Golf, and I was
Hey,
at
there you
his area, and I got a picture with him.
That's
so.
cool.
Do you interact with the active players very much, or
Not
so
much.
much?
No, we don't. We see him at some events, but not too much. But
That's cool though. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it is. It's they kind of keep you a little at ease, but
they're busy people?
Yeah.
we get to go. There's a training camp. They have an alumni day.
Oh, okay.
So we get all the alumni go up, and then we get to go on the field and interact with the players a little bit.
That's fun.
So that's kind of.
They toss you a ball, have you kick it?
No,
Oh, when was the last time you kicked the ball?
it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I mean, did you when you were working with your son?
Oh yeah, I
You
would
still punting back then?
Yeah, a little
Up
bit.
at North? Did you go up
Yep,
to North?
yep. I mean, I would go kick it like 20 yards or something just to show that I could turn it over and
Okay.
do all that stuff. But
Yeah.
the days of getting after it,
You got to go do some wheelies up to the.
I have the wheelies are done. I can't even get on a bike anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you talk about other people and their stories. Yours is very interesting as well. I mean, you didn't have any plans to play in the NFL, and just the breaks that you got and opportunities.
It was a dream, and
Yeah.
I was very fortunate to
Yeah.
even play, and I'm so grateful even to this day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a blessing, really
Yes.
is to
Mm-hmm.
even to talk about and having all the teammates and
Mm-hmm.
all that experience. It's pretty special.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So we'll go ahead and move on to our next segment real quick. It's have you ever? So I just had some random questions. If have you ever? First one is, have you ever dunked a basketball?
Oh gosh,
Back in the day?
Back in your prime?
probably not
No.
official. Not even in practice. Yeah,
But I mean,
Probably
get
not.
close. No?
yeah, close, but yeah,
okay.
white men can't jump.
Ever enter a dance contest?
No, awful.
Oh yeah.
No, not a dancer.
Ever seen a live Broadway show?
Maybe not, but I saw a lot in high school when my youngest son was
Oh, okay.
in a lot of musicals and
Yeah.
At North?
yeah,
Yeah.
Corey?
and they go to New York all the
I was
time.
gonna say,
Oh,
I
really?
thought they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Corey and his mom, yeah, they would go.
they go
Okay.
and yeah,
That's
but
cool.
Yeah.
I tell them I'm going to spend my money on the golf course. So you
There you
spend yours at the Broadway shows.
Yeah, we had the honor. We went to New York. We went to a show, and we got to meet Tony Danza,
Oh,
one of the coolest guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, what's the name of that? What was the show he was in?
Well, the one that we saw was the
I cannot remember.
Las Vegas.
I can see the house mom or the mom.
Oh, you're talking about that you're talking about the show that he was on. The Who's the Boss?
Who's the boss?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
What was the lady? What was her name? You know who I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
the
yeah.
blonde and
Yeah.
yeah.
God,
I
see,
watch
Mark-
that all
yeah.
the time.
Yes, I can't
Yeah.
even think of it either.
Oh, Angela.
That's
He's
it,
the other
yes.
Angela
Angela.
Bauer.
Yeah, but-
Angela Bauer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
But and there was leaving Las Vegas or something like that he was doing in New York. But it was just really cool to meet him.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
He's just down to
I'm
earth, and we
sure.
took a picture, and he's really cool guy. Last question: been in a commercial?
Honeymoon in Vegas is.
Oh, honeymoon in
That's what it
Vegas.
was.
Thank you.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah?
When I was a rookie, I did a commercial out in western Kansas for a friend of mine, a chiropractic, and I was awful.
Were you?
It's like, use your hands, talk with your hands, do this, do that. I'm like, yes, sir, no, sir. So,
Oh, that's nice.
That's pretty cool.
So then Corey didn't get his talent from you
yeah. He
then.
did not. No.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. So okay, Kelly. Before we end, I gotta ask: are you a big barbecue fan?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody wants to know what are Kelly's 5 favorite barbecue spots in Kansas City.
Okay. So 5. Well, I do this all the time with my family.
All right, let's do
You
this.
mentioned
So-
Gates earlier. I'm interested to
I
hear
love the
these.
Gates sausage and their fries, and their sauce is number 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Their sauce, I will put that on if we get
Anything.
other barbecue in.
You got to put the gates.
Oh, okay.
I hear you.
Of course, we live right by Joe's, so Joe's is good. I like Q39. I like the Mr. Good Buns or whatever that is, little pepper jack.
Q39. I haven't tried that one.
We still
yet.
haven't tried
Yeah.
that.
I hear
Yeah.
things about it all the time, but yeah, I haven't
Right.
been.
Q39 is good. Johnny's was a good one. I used to like Johnny's Barbecue in Mission.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right, yeah.
That, well, you know,
Barbecue.
the new place.
No, that's RJ's.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm mixing them up.
The new place is Smoketown.
Yes.
That's yeah.
His family.
Yeah, been there. Yeah, that's good too.
I mean, if you have more, we don't have to stick with 5. You know. I
Yeah,
mean,
Are you
geez.
a slaps guy?
Slaps ribs we've had.
yeah.
Yep. I'm kind of a particular on that. You know, we like what's the one on 87? Zarda.
Yes.
Oh,
Zarda
yeah.
Barbecue.
Like
yeah.
Zarda.
I work right around the corner from there.
Yeah. So
Yeah. See, and that's the Zarda sauce is what I like as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Spicy.
Spicy.
Yep.
Yeah. So yep. That's all good. Oh well, we like Jack Stack. We like that.
Yeah.
So are you a brown sugar guy? Because I didn't hear you say Arthur Bryant.
No, I was never a big fan of Arthur Bryant's because of the sauce.
Right.
Was it vinegar based or
Something.
something that's it's more
Yeah.
liquidy, almost not as thick
Had
as
a
the brown
bitter,
sugar based?
bitter taste to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And some people really, really love it there.
Yeah,
you know, they love that sauce. It's
I know it, and that's what I was saying. It's like we go get Joe's stuff, and I put Gates Barbecue on it. It's like,
yeah.
no, you shouldn't do that. but
So before that one, when it was Oklahoma
Joe.
Joe's, yeah. Did you eat there?
Oh yeah,
At the gas station.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do they have? The Big Q? Is that what they call it?
Z-Man.
Z-Man. sorry.
Z-Man.
Big
is-
Q's another
Another
establishment,
place
yeah, in
all
Argentina.
over the place here.
Yeah, there's one over in Merriam. Is a Yard House or Wood House or something. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah. That's the one where we were at. Hayward's. No.
Hayward's used to. Yeah, I used to like Hayward's.
Okay.
Another one.
That's where Q39 is out
Oh,
south.
okay.
Yep.
Where's
Okay.
the pig place on Shawnee Mission Parkway? That's by the old
Oh, the one down.
Incredible. pizza
one-
place,
Off of Flum.
What's it called?
and it's now at Nebraska
something
Furniture
something
Mart.
box,
Oh yeah, box.
Oh yeah, I've been to that. Yep.
right?
Yes, I, know
can't
where
think of
that's
the
at.
name
That's
of
on
it, but
Shawnee
yeah.
Mission Parkway,
Uh-huh.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Blind box.
Blind
Yeah.
box.
Blind
That's
Box
it. That's it.
Barbecue. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Oh man, now that we're sitting here listing all these, there's a lot of barbecue.
Yep, man. We need
what's-
to go get some barbecue.
What's the one up at the airport? Meet Mitch. Have you been to that?
No,
I haven't. Yeah, I've seen that one at the airport, but no, never attempted it. Never tried it.
75th Street somewhere.
Somebody said that the ones at the airport every year, it's kind of a rotating.
I think
Whoever
there's one
wins
stand, the American Royal.
whoever wins the American Royal then gets to
Yeah.
go in there and showcase their food, I guess.
Can you imagine going to the American Royal and sample all that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
You know,
Yeah.
might have to ride that wheelie, that bicycle.
There you go. Have you had the smoke barbecue? He's actually, it's in Arrowhead. It's a barbecue spot there in Arrowhead.
I have
Cade
not.
Colson, owns
Okay.
that. He's come in here. We've talked.
Yep.
And he has his barbecue there and across at Kaufman during the
Okay.
baseball season.
Nice.
So yeah, you'll have to give
Yeah.
that a try as well.
Smoke. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do it.
SMOAK. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. Well, Mr.
right.
Goodburn, I appreciate you coming in.
Well,
Thank
thanks
you
for
so
having me.
much. Yeah.
Thanks for the stories.
Yeah.
Yes, that was
I hope
fun.
I didn't
Good time.
bore you too much, but
No, please, no. It was good. Yeah. And maybe later on we'll see each other. We'll
Sounds
get
good.
to talk and maybe get these other ambassadors to come in. What do you think?
get this three-peat going, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
do that.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching the Big Modcast. Until next week, adios.